start recording.
Just say when you're ready.
Kral, it should be going live. Let me know what you see.
All right.
Hi, I'm back.
Go away.
No, you know what? You better watch
printer.
all of your goods, because I'm going to pickpocket all of them off you.
Never let the damn thief out of sight.
I would kill you and not even blink.
I mean, it
And I'm
depends on your
naked.
alignment.
And I'm naked, so you can frisk me all you want.
All right, Kral. If it's running, it's running.
Yep. And I'm going to jump off Discord because there's like a 30-second delay, so I hear my conversation twice.
All right.
Yep.
So have fun, guys.
We'll do.
Thank you.
Maybe.
It depends. Okay. So, last session, you had returned from a victory in the Sunless Citadel after having defeated Bellic the Outcast, saved both Sir Bradford and Sharwin Hukrella, and recovered the enchanted apple off of the tree before your wizard Kent burned it to the ground. You retreated back into Oakhurst, and after attending the funeral for Talgan, had gathered around a long table to go over the loot that you required from the Citadel. A stranger from across the sea approached you, holding in his hand a compass. He asked to see the bone scroll case that kept a mysterious parchment referencing Durgan the Black. Upon showing him the parchment, he used his compass to reveal a hidden map to a location called the Stone Tooth. Unfortunately, none of you know exactly where it is. The best you can guess is somewhere near the spine of the world, which is a mountain range in the very far north of the world. You opted to follow your bard, Will, back to the city of Mirabar in order to collect some things. It's south of the north. In order to collect a few items to take care of some additional business. And while traveling there, before you traveled there, you ventured back into the Sunless Citadel. You defeated a troll and acquired a staff for your monk Friar Tuck. And you also defeated a few skeletons and collected a few items from there, including a whistle carved in bone that was shaped like a dragon curled up like a snail. This new stranger that had joined your party opted to take a look at the whistle after his compass began glowing near it. Upon moving his compass close to the whistle shattered in a glow of radiant energy.
Sorry.
After some harsh words were exchanged and some disappointed looks, you opted to allow him in the party for the time being and began to make your way to the city of Mirabar. On the way, Rorn, you thought you had a dream that involved some sort of radiant being with wings, but not much more was gleaned from that. Furthermore, Kent, you came across what seemed to be some sort of humanoid figure that was watching over you on your journey. You woke your companions and chased him to a bush before seeing some sort of green mist fly away from the bush towards the south. There you go. Okay, I'm just giving the recap, so your timing's good.
As always.
Okay, so this green mist flew off to the south, and as you investigated the bush that this green mist emanated from, you found a staff. You heard, Kent, in the back of your head, the voice of your old master encouraging you to take this blackened, charred-looking wood that was glowing with some sort of dark energy. You've taken it, you've automatically attuned yourself to it. Roaring, you notice your compass glowing and pointing towards this staff, but the rest of the party has not allowed you anywhere near it. You continued on to the city of Mirabar, where Dr. Connor, you stopped by both the blacksmith as well as a tanner and dropped off the baby dragon's head of the white dragon Calstrix that you had kept in your bag of holding in the hopes of acquiring some sort of armor with it. In the meantime, the rest of your companions made their way to the Sparkling Stone, which is an inn and a tavern, and gathered some additional information about the town. You learned that Tufts Tomes and Historical Sundries is the location of is probably your best possible location to learn more about the mysterious parchment in that bone scroll case. Tuck, you also learned about some fighting pits within the area, and the fighting pits are well known for fighters who have a unique fighting style, and it is possible to place bets on the outcome, as well as for participants to win a portion of the bets.
Killy, real fast. What was the name of the inn again? One more time. Just writing it down.
The Sparkling Stone.
I would just like to add one thing real fast for you guys. Have any of you guys seen the Steve Martin movie Rot Sing, where he basically does a Cyrano de Bergerac role?
No.
No?
One of my favorites.
Okay. So, in titling this week's episode, you familiar with the scene where they're talking about, like, the different things, that, like, how you could insult somebody with a big nose?
Nope.
Number you hit, that's how many I'll come up with.
All right. Well, the subtitle of this week's is "Keep That Guy the Hell Away from My Cocaine."
Well titled. Okay, so as we ended the last session, and as we begin this session, Kurt, you have walked into the Sparkling Stone Inn, which is a 3-story inn and tavern. The top story of the inn is a stone sort of roof with a chimney coming out of the back side, and it is smoking currently. You walk inside and smell what smells to be fresh meat cooking. And right now it's about mid-afternoon, maybe about 2 o'clock. There's not too many people here. You see a couple of the older gentlemen who look like they might run the place are talking to one another or otherwise engaging with some patrons. You notice the rest of your party is sitting at the bar drinking wine in the middle of the afternoon.
Pretty good class. That sounds great. Be for a few hours. I have to go back to the tanner soon, so I'll just I'll join them and start talking. Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey.
Welcome back.
On us. I have secured us a room here for not but the cost of my performance. We have a room for a few days, the largest on the top floor.
Be around for something.
You may store your things there. We have key.
You can have this wine.
I have to go pick up some stuff later.
I hand you wine.
Keep Connery.
Just a minute! And he quickly says something to one of his nearby compatriots and walks over and says, "How can I help you?"
The rest of my retinue. And I introduce the newcomers.
Mm-hmm.
This group will be sharing that large room upstairs that I secured for you, next private room for myself.
Understood. Here's the key to the private room, and here's the key to the common room.
Thank you, my good man, for you. And I give him a silver.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your stay. And he wanders back to his other business.
Well, gentlemen, as much as I love drinking and talking and gossiping and playing, I have business to attend to.
As do I.
I make for Shimmer Hall. Would any of you care to join me? I will be meeting with my patron.
I would like to ask, what is that location?
It's the seat of power in Mirabar. It's where the highfalutin types and any important visitors would very likely.
Would this area happen to know of locations of outskirts within the town?
The seat of power, it would be where any council members of the Council of Sparkling Stones, which is the council that kind of runs the city, would be there meeting with other foreign dignitaries, anything of the sort. As far as the shadier parts of town,
I don't mean the shadier parts of town. I mean more so the outskirts. So like small cities outside the towns, maybe encampments, etc.
There would probably be somebody there familiar with a couple of the outskirts and the encampments outside of town.
Perfect. Then yes, I will come with you.
Very good.
I'll go with you.
I'll join as well, but I might have to leave. Partway through, I have some other business I have to get back to, but I'll come.
If you wish, we're off for Shimmer Hall.
We're all going. I'll follow along.
Will is specifically looking for Sir Barcelot. I can't remember his name ever.
Bradford.
Yes, Sir Bradford. I need some support.
So are all of you making your way over to Shimmer Hall then?
I think so.
So.
Okay. You wander your way towards the city, and it's not very hard to... I'm hearing myself echo through somebody's
Pant.
Nope, I don't think so.
It is.
Check.
I will mark myself out just to be sure.
Okay. So you begin making your way over to Shimmer Hall, and it's not very hard to gauge where the seat of power within the city itself is. It stands maybe a couple of feet taller, maybe about 10 feet taller than most of the rest of the buildings. And the building itself, whereas much of the rest of the city and the buildings that encompass this are made out of some sort of very well carved stone or marble, this building is made almost looks to be of iron. It stands as a large dome sort of building with a couple of wings off to both the left and the right. Think of kind of like a smaller version of an iron form of the White House, right? And as you enter into the central walkway, you would expect to see maybe more examples of the wealth and the mineral prowess that is the city, and the metallic nature of the building itself, as the sun shines against it, gives it an obvious shimmer and a glow. And you wonder if maybe there's not some mithril worked into the work that makes up this building. And as you enter into the central dome, you look up and you can actually see that encompassed within the central dome is what looks to be a large black rock. And inside this large black rock is what must be a number of precious gems and jewels that give an unique shimmer as you look up and see the sun bounce against it. And as you enter into the central hall, you see a dwarf, very well trimmed and clean, but otherwise a well-groomed beard, is in some sort of acolyte's robes, and it wanders up to you, Will, and says, "Pardon me, would you happen to be Will Ferril Beethoven?" Your mic's muted, so I can't hear you now.
Will Ferril Beethoven, and I bow deeply. At your service. Good to be recognized. I see civilization has not forgotten.
Sir Bradford has told us of your arrival. If you would follow me, please.
Very well.
Okay. You follow this dwarf in acolyte's robes, and he leads you off away from the central hall towards the west wing. And as he does, and as you move away from it, you get the sense that as you move away from the grandeur that is the main hall, you wander back into what feels like going into the offices where the actual business begins to take place. And as you approach what appears to be a wooden door, or a hallway with a set of wooden doors, the dwarf looks up at you and says, Sir Bradford is with Mayor and Hammer about 2 doors down to the left. And he bows. I'm sorry, what did you say?
Said Mayor Hammer?
Mayor and Hammer.
All right, so not Mayor.
Nope. Here, I'll spell it out.
I would have never guessed that.
I personally like Mayor Hammer better.
Call him Mayor Hammer.
I mean, you can go for it if you want.
Let's not
Mayor-
insult him.
Mayor
now.
Hammer?
Mayor Hammer.
Mayor. Very good. Mayor.
Okay.
Before you leave, kind sir, I was wondering who
Aye.
should I speak to regarding outside the city matters?
He responds, What sort of matters outside of the city are you referencing, mate?
I'm wondering about some encampments to the north.
He responds, well, up in the north, are a couple of extra... The city has expanded mines out into the north and a couple of encampments out in that direction, closer towards the spine of the world, in order to acquire more mineral wealth for the city itself.
Mm-hmm.
And we've expanded out into the north with additional mines as recently as the last 50 years.
Okay, what northeast, I guess, more specifically?
Well, there is Blasingdale, which is one of the newer settlements out to the northeast that has about a guard of 100.
Okay. Anything else up that way?
Additional mines for the city itself, not more than perhaps half a day's travel straight north. Aside from that, most of the minor encampments, expansions of existing mines.
And to the northeast, what is that region known as anything else?
I'm not sure what you mean, lad.
Who's the smart one here? I'm looking around at you guys.
That would...
Trying to remember the name of the
Man,
map.
you like what?
Kent. Kent's the brains.
Okay, Kent.
Yeah.
What was on the map again?
Well, without showing him the map, I don't think he'd probably get a good idea of where it is. And
The name, though.
oh man, I didn't write that down.
Oh, come on. Somebody had to write this down. The tooth of something.
I said it at the beginning of the session.
You did.
I was in the middle of focusing on setting up the stream.
The stone tooth. I got it. We're good.
Stone tooth. Oh, ask him.
Yes.
Yeah, the stone tooth.
Yes,
Ask him if he's ever heard of the stone tooth.
Yeah.
No, just
Have
ask
you
him if
ever
he knows what's to the south of the north.
I'm willing to bet that Mr. Mayan can answer just about any questions you have about that region. I'm afraid I haven't wanted too much out there myself.
Perfect. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you, though.
He bows low and begins to wander off. And are you then going down the hallway and approaching this door?
I'd be following them, yeah.
Will?
Mike? Will?
I'm not seeing. We're going towards the doors that he directed us towards. You're not showing the screen, are you?
No, we're
right.
now you are talking, but you weren't before. That's why.
No, I understand that. I had muted myself. I'm still hearing what sounds like a breeze, or perhaps someone's microphone is too close to there.
That is Tunic.
That's me.
No.
No.
That's Killy. It's a fan.
Might be. I'll move the fan a little bit. I apologize.
I want to
No,
make sure
it's okay.
Kelly, you're not showing anything on the screen now, are you?
I'm not showing a map, if that's what you're asking.
All right, good. I just see a black screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to the room where Sir Bradford and Marin Hemmerer are.
Well, the black screen, you shouldn't see a black screen. You should see basically a title screen for the next thing.
Seeing all black.
Screen.
I'm seeing black.
All black, yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it black? Hang on.
It's black.
Maybe you've got Fog of War on.
Yeah, I must have it on. Here, I'll disable it.
Hey,
Title screen.
Hey, Forge of Fury. Finish him. All right.
Okay, that's better. All right. So as you approach the door, Panta or Will, I'd like you to make a perception check.
Gladly. Oh, wah.
Okay.
While
You hear
it's
murmurs in the
happening,
other.
Can I go ahead and grip my compass?
Okay. You grip your compass.
Is that what they're calling it now?
Yeah. I'd like to grip your compass if you know what I mean.
Heyo.
Your hands aren't big enough.
Are you
Radiating,
pointing
so
north? Just happy to see me.
I'm not pulling it out. I'm just gripping it.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. You grip your compass. You trying to glean anything right now?
No, no, just looking around the dwarven structures and whatnot.
Okay.
As the entire building falls on their heads.
Yeah, just touch it to a wall.
That's not...
Garen, did you have something you wanted to add? Tuck, Garen?
No.
Okay. All right, so you approach this door. You hear murmurs on the other side.
Knock.
Go ahead.
I'm going to knock before I go in.
Okay. You hear a voice on the other end say, "Come in."
Will enters.
Okay. You enter into the room. It's a fairly simple room that makes up this structure. You can see, obviously, who's an individual who appears to be Sir Bradford, although he looks in much better shape than when you had obviously first encountered him. The armor he's wearing appears new, and his shield and his sword, the shield currently sheathed on his back, and the sword currently sheathed in its sheath, looks to be either recently touched up or otherwise well made, and he looks at you with an exasperated look. You also see this individual next to him, a human man who looks to be perhaps in his 50s. He has pretty soft-looking features and a graying hair, although he has a full beard that is otherwise well trimmed. And he greets you with a warm smile, and he also appears to be wearing what looks to be maybe gray wizard's robes. And as you enter the room, he says, "Oh, he must be the party I've heard so much about." And Bradford nods and says, "Yes, this is Will," and he introduces you one by one, and he points at you, Roar, and he says, "I'm sorry, I don't know that I've met you."
Stick out my hand. Roar.
He shakes it.
From very, very far away.
Well, Sir Bradford, the companions that you traveled with saved my life, and many others, I think, by extension.
I'm glad to hear
So
that.
I've heard. And Mayor walks up and says, "Now, if you have time, I'd like to ask you a few questions about your journey into this citadel."
Fire away. We're more than willing to answer any questions you might have.
He offers you a chair and says, "Please sit."
Chair for all of us?
A chair. Well, yes.
Okay.
So it's a round table. There's at least 8 chairs that make up this entire table.
Yeah, I go ahead and take a seat furthest away from everyone.
Mm-hmm. The rest of you taking a seat, I assume?
Yeah, I'll sit down too.
Okay. As you sit down, he moves towards the middle of all of you and stands up and addresses all of you and says, "Now, according to Sir Bradford's information that he's presented to me, I'm given to understand that these needle creatures that have been attacking travelers along the road were a creation of one Sir Bellic, an outcast druid of the Circle of the Moon. Tell me, what has been done with him?"
Unfortunately,
He's been disposed of.
What do you mean?
We took his life.
And the body?
Do with the body. I guess after the battle was done, my focus was elsewhere, so I'm not sure what became of him.
We searched him, and we more or less left him for the cave rot, but I also destroyed what I think was the source of the blights, the Golthias tree.
Indeed, it has been mentioned to me before. What do you know of this Golthias tree?
I know that long ago there was a powerful vampire that was defeated there, and as he lay dying, a stake was driven into his heart of, I'm gonna murder this, of live wood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of live wood, and the tree grew around him.
I understand that this tree grew enchanted fruit, and one was supposed to grow around the midsummer. Tell me, did you recover any fruit from this tree?
I'm not going to. I personally did not. I don't know if any of my companions did.
A shame.
Look at an apple.
I sadly was not there for this.
Well,
We did get one apple.
Oh? And he raises an eyebrow specifically at you. Might I see it?
Sure, why not?
I've heard those two phrases uttered before, and then it ended in heartbreak. So
I'm just going to keep it away from the compass. As I place the apple on the table in front of our new friend.
Okay, Pant, are you trying to say something? I see you typing furiously in there.
Hold on, Pant. 1 second, and we'll fix this. Hold on.
you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, I was at 40 decibels. At your suggestion, I moved it to 20 decibels.
20 was too far.
Yeah, you couldn't hear me. I tried it at 30. You also couldn't hear me, so now I'm back to.
If when you talk, you should see the little bar going up, and you want to get the bar right to, like, when you talk. Generally, it's just going past that point.
Yeah, no, I get it.
You could also just enable push to talk.
How's this? Is that any better? Can you hear me? What I'm saying?
Yeah,
Sounds
yeah,
pretty
we
good.
can still hear you.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Let's
While
try
you're
it now, and I think this should work.
okay, while this conversation was going on, Will, was there anything that you really wanted to add?
No, I was answering the question. Yes, we did find a fruit, and I would nudge Tuck to
Okay.
give up said fruit, or at least produce it. Not it's his to do what he wishes.
Okay, Tuck, are you then procuring this fruit from the bag and placing it on the table?
Going to be on the table in front of our new friend.
Okay. He will look at it, and he will reach to pick it up. He picks it up. Intriguing. He examines it. You see him raise his hand, and he begins to weave perhaps some sort of spell. You're not quite sure what it is. You think it might be an identify spell. Interesting indeed.
Did he pay
So
100?
Go ahead.
Did he pay 100 gold?
No, he did not.
Just-
He hands it back to you and says, a shame, I suppose, that the source of this fruit is lost. Tell me, a few more questions, if I may. We had originally sent Sir Bradford with a team in order to eliminate the blights. How many of the blights did you find in the castle itself?
I don't think we kept count, did we?
I would say at least 20.
I was going to say 15 or more.
Intriguing. Tell me, do you have any reason to believe that any remaining blights might be in the area? Recent reports suggest no, but I'd like to hear your opinion.
I think I could help with that.
How so?
When
I'm a pretty good tracker, and the blights really light up my magical senses. I think I can tell if there's any in the area, but it might take a second. Let me book here.
We have our own trackers in the area trying to protect the citizenry around Oakhurst and the surrounding woods from any invading blights. I was merely hoping if you had any insight that might aid them in their tracking themselves. If there were, by your experience within the Citadel, if you have any reason to believe that any remaining blights might have fled into the outer region, and perhaps any numbers.
Will thinks for a moment and says, when we encountered them, they seemed almost organized, smart in their approach. However, once the tree was destroyed, they seem to have lost that sense or that organization, scattered off in multiple directions, the few that remain.
Was this the result of the tree or the result of Belloc?
Once the tree, I believe it was once the tree was. The tree went down before he did, I thought.
Interesting. Then perhaps it's best that the tree was destroyed. I will note that in the report.
I would like to add that one night while we were resting, we did see some walk past us and out of the citadel. I would say no more than 5. But we were unable to deal with them at the time.
Not enough to pose any real threat, I suppose.
This area, are your men searching for these?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What size area are the men searching? Like how?
They're searching the area around Oakhurst and around the location of the Citadel itself. So far, they haven't encountered many numbers, a few scattered, but reports have come in sketchy at best.
When it's a concentration, I can tell you if there's any within 5 miles of us.
We have no reason to believe that any might be hiding within the city, my boy.
That's kind of funny.
How big the city was?
What's that?
I didn't know how big the city was.
Bigger than 5 miles.
Each direction. Okay, yeah, that's fair. I gotcha.
I have one more question. Well, 2 more questions. You returned Sir Bradford to us after missing for an entire month, and as well as returned Sharwin Hukrella safe and sound to her mother. I'm told by Sir Bradford that he believes he was under the control of Belloc or the tree. He's not entirely certain which, and his own memory appears to be a bit foggy. Tell me, how did you save them?
Kent, it was Kent's idea, actually.
No, that wasn't. Attacking the tree was my idea, but I believe we forced a potion down into. We forced the potion upon them.
Well, no,
What kind of potion?
Become free until the tree was destroyed, I thought.
No, they were still they were still in shock, or they had stopped moving. They were stunned.
Right. And then once Bellic died,
They were still stunned, even after Bellic.
Oh, we gave him the.
Yep.
We believe right. It was a potion that we believe was brewed from one of these. That I think was what we used to save them.
Right, go ahead. Right.
He responds, "Do you have any of the potion left for perhaps one of our alchemists to examine?"
Unfortunately, no. We used what was there to break the hold on Sir Bradford and the mage.
One more question for you all. In the reports, we need a name for the event, for the party that had succeeded in this endeavor. By what name do we call you?
Oh boy! See, I told you. Says,
Oh, shoot. You know, we didn't come up with one, did we?
I don't think we did. No,
no,
we did not spend any time coming up with a name.
You know why? Because it was late the other week.
Are there any pictures on the wall of this room?
There are a couple of pictures. None seem to suggest adventuring parties. You do notice
Are there any animals? Any of them?
you see a picture of what looks to be maybe some sort of dwarven ranger next to a bear.
The Order of the Bear.
Can I look around for an object?
I am Kaiser Soze.
You see a picture of a dwarven miner, a couple of dwarven miners. Within their hands appear to be diamonds.
The Order of the Diamond Bears.
The Diamond Bears, is it?
Yep.
Yes, the Diamond Bears. I like that. Rolls off the tongue. Easily made into song. Many words rhyme with bears. And diamonds for that.
The Diamond Bears. Very well. Now, you're fairly new to the city, as I'm given to understand it. If you excuse me a moment, he looks at Sir Bradford and nods and says, "You must be on your way then to Red Lodge. I expect to hear from the expedition upon arrival." And Sir Bradford looks back at him with something of an exasperated look and says, "Yes, my lord." And he begins to wander out of the room. And as he does, Mayor turns back to you at the table and goes, "Now, is there anything I might be able to do in order to be of any service to you?"
Yes. Have you ever heard of the Stone Tooth?
He responds, "The name doesn't sound entirely familiar to me. I might imagine there's a scribe or someone in the city who might be familiar with the area. It would not entirely surprise me to learn it is a named hill or mountain close to the spine of the world itself."
That was my assumption. I was hoping to get more information about it. And also, if I wanted to learn more about mythical creatures, is there someone in the town who I can talk to about that?
I suppose it depends on the creature you're hoping to study.
I'm not entirely sure.
He responds, "Well, there's an interesting gnome by the name of Toff who runs a tome and historical sundries location. Although I don't know that he'd have any information on mythical beasts per se. If there was a book on anything, he would have it."
Perfect. I'll check him out. Is there anyone else possibly in town?
In this city, you might
In the
want to say.
Yeah, in the city. Sorry, I apologize.
You might be able to ask around for any errant mage or someone hoping to sell a book or two, but
Perfect.
otherwise,
I'll check with Top. Whereabouts in the city is he located?
down in the trade quarter to the southwest.
Perfect. Thank you.
Of course.
Um, thank you for your generosity and meeting with us, and I hope that our report um can shed some light on what happened in the Sunless Citadel and the surrounding areas. Um, and with that, we take your leave, or we take our leave.
Then I wish you luck, Diamond Bears. As you begin to leave, Will, you hear him stop you and says, Will, a moment in private, if you may.
I will meet you back at the inn, I say to my fellow.
Okay.
I stay.
Okay. The rest of you leave the room. Right now, Will, it's just you and Mayern within the room itself. And you see this kindly looking mage come to you, and he says, I knew your master, and I knew of the mission that the Alliance had given him originally. That you have taken it up without any promise of a reward says a lot about your potential and your valor.
My master was very good to me. My loyalty would have seen me finish his duty. Now that they are, lack of direction has been a long time coming. Will gives a laugh.
Those of us within the Lord's Alliance will be willing to continue to give you direction. He extends. He reaches inside his robe and he pulls out what looks to be a jewelry box. Opening it up, you can see inside is a signet ring well carved in gold, bearing with it the symbol of the Lord's Alliance. And he says, if you are willing, we would like to welcome you as an agent for our cause.
What would such agency involve?
You would be granted access to all members of the Lord's Alliance within the greatest cities along the Sword Coast. You would also be given access to potentially confidential information given only to those who serve under the Lord's Alliance. You might also find additional aid and shelter to members or those who aid the cause. We would also perhaps give you missives from time to time, requesting that you investigate something in order to... I'm tripping over my own words. We would also may ask you for your service from time to time, though such service does not go without reward.
See. In truth, I had given thought to asking about my master's role in the Lord's Alliance. I did not realize he was a spy. He must have been a good one for me not to. Pretty good at reading people. I think I was so easily fooled.
Better than you might think. Perhaps better than all of us thought, if he fooled even you.
I will accept.
Damn it.
Says I will accept. I don't know the wisdom of my decision, but following the footsteps of my master, I can think of worse paths.
Damn it, I just deleted the title screen on accident. Thanks.
What?
Look, I understand talking with someone of my style and charm can be distracting, but please.
No, it's not him talking, it's the DM talking.
Fourth wall.
Alright, so now you got a white screen instead of a title screen because I lost the damn map. Thanks.
Should have just let me play.
Tell, are you familiar with Deadpool?
Goddamn.
Are you accepting the signet ring from this guy?
Yes.
Okay. You accepted the signet ring. He grants upon you, given the authority vested in him, the rank of Cloak, which is the first rank within the Lord's Alliance.
Cloak.
Cloak.
So Will's just kind of, what now? Do I just
If
I am to be part of the Lord's Alliance, then I suppose I should confide in you. No?
Go on.
We found some information while we were in the Citadel. Perhaps you're familiar with the legend of Durgan the Black.
As you mentioned the name, he kind of steps. He kind of looks intrigued, and he responds, "The dwarf lord is well known throughout numerous songs and tales within the city itself. He fought against many of the orcish hordes who originally had destroyed the original dwarf hold that sat upon the mines here. Many have gone searching for his last known location."
I believe we have direction as to that last known location.
Is that so?
The first part was an unfinished ballad from my that came from my my master. He had that amongst his thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. An unfinished ballad that my master had been working on, making me think that he had been on the trail of this location. The second came in the form of this, and I show him the carved bone scroll case.
He looks at it with interest, and he looks at you and as if to open it and says, "May I?"
Of course.
Okay, he opens it up and examines the parchment, reading it. He apparently knows Dwarvish.
Will says, "I assume you read Dwarven?"
Yes, of course. And he reads the location. He reads the detail out, and he says, "There's not much mentioned on the parchment itself here that really reveals any new information."
No, but the name, Kundrakar.
Indeed.
Secret redoubt, none shall find us. And a direct reference to Durgan the Black.
Kundrakar. A lost dwarf hold.
It goes beyond circumstance, no?
He'll put the parchment back into the case and hand it back to you, and he says, "Durgan the Black was a known smith, known for carving all sorts of enchanted and powerful weapons for the dwarven lords as they fought against the orcs of the north. If you can find the location of it, you can recover some powerful items, weapons, for yourself, and by extension, for the protection of the people of the realm. I would task you, if I may, to finding more information about this. As I mentioned before, Toph would be the one to know anything about Kundrakar."
Yes, that's what drives the inquiries previous. We're actually searching actively now as a group. There's a map on this parchment as he tucks the bone scroll case away.
Mhm.
Invisible, brought about with magic. But it shows an area close to the spine of the world. I'm sorry,
Yes, that's correct.
that's correct. Okay.
South of the north.
Yeah. I would show you on a map, but unfortunately, they're not allowed here.
He responds, "There are no maps allowed of the city itself. You can obviously see a map of this, I'm certain. This wouldn't reveal anything about the city."
All right. So, does he have a map nearby of the area?
He has a map of the spine of the world, or he says he's able to conjure one. You see him kind of wave a finger in the air, and you see an illusory map of the spine of the world, as well as a couple of noted areas within or around the spine of the world.
Do any of them match up with where that area we believe this place is?
As you look around, you can see there is a. Go ahead and make a perception check, in fact, for that matter.
Seem to.
Just slight metagaming here, Tilly. Is the map only visible when I'm there?
Oh.
The map is currently not visible. Yeah,
Okay.
He's tucked it back in, and he says there is a map.
Yeah. Okay. No, I was just wondering.
Well, you're kind of glancing around at this illusory map that this mage has conjured, and unfortunately, you're not really able to pinpoint any specific location where it might be. But the mage himself responds, If this mountain range would be anywhere, it'd be close to the eastern end of the spine, perhaps closest to here." And he points at a town marked Blasingdell.
What's it called again?
Blasingdell. Blasing Dell.
BLA. Thank you. Lazingdale. Okay. Well, looks like I know my next destination.
While this conversation is going on, the rest of you, kind of exit the area. Bradford kind of looks at the rest of you and says, "If you'd be so kind as to let him know, I am to leave with an expedition to the city of Lodge, close to Waterdeep. If he has the spare time after whatever expedition you are currently working on, I wouldn't mind the company."
So in Waterdeep, is he saying, or on his way to Waterdeep?
On the way to Waterdeep, the city of Red Lodge is in the Summer Hills. It is about a quarter's day's travel to the northwest, a suburb of the city, if you will.
We'll let him know.
Thank you so much. And he begins to leave. Now, while he's in with this conversation, are the rest of you doing anything?
I'd be working my way to Toff.
And I went to see Elwyn.
Okay.
I'm going to wait for him there, and then I'm assuming we're going to Top's Sundries, because I have some questions that I need answered there too.
As soon as I left the room, I'd be heading directly there. So, I'd say probably on my own.
Okay. So, Kurt, you're heading back to Elwyn, and Ron, you're heading to Toft's Tomes and Historical Sundries.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Pant, you finish up your conversation with Mayern. You head out. Kent's waiting there for you. I assume Tuck's waiting there as well, unless Tuck, you wanted to do something.
No, we're good.
Okay.
Pant will plan about Blazingdale. I believe that we have a lead on our town or on our city of legend. A town near where we expect that area on the hidden map exists, called Blazingdale.
Well, at least that gives us a direction, but I think we should still go to Top's Sundries to see if they have any more information.
Yes, we should collect as much information as we can, Will says. I agree. I'm off to the inn, though. I must pay my bill. Come by for dinner. I'll save my latest ballad for you.
Would you assume that this is about midday, Killy?
Right now, it's maybe about 2:30, 3 o'clock-ish.
When will be expected to perform at the inn? All day, at night?
Will would probably be expected to perform at night.
Oh, all right. Well, then I can go to Tufts. You all.
I'm also going to head over to Tofts in the Trade District, and I have some questions I'm hoping he can answer.
Okay. So Kurt and Roran, you both have left early. Kurt, you arrive back at the tanner, and as you enter into the place, you actually notice a familiar-looking figure, a gnome with bowl-cut hair. Strapped to his back is a metal apparatus containing multiple arms. You recognize this character as someone who did some competing research with you during your time experimenting with anthropomorphic studies. While you studied the anthropomorphic side of things, he studied the metallic side of things. And you know this gnome to be Dr. Otto Octavius. And he looks up and he says, "Dr. Connors, I have not seen you in a while."
Dr. Octavius.
I go to shake his hand, but then I'm confused about which one to shake. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while either. It's good running into you here.
He reaches out with one of his metallic claws and grasps your hand hard. I'd like you to make a Constitution saving throw. You take 2 points of damage as he clenches your hand hard. And you can see he smiles kind of with a nasty little grin. And he says, "It's a shame about what happened to your own research. Excuse me. I am afraid I'm a bit busy collecting collecting a bit more of my alchemical research. Thank you again for the class, Edwin. And he nods back to the elfin woman, who looks more than a little annoyed with this gnome. And he simply looks back at you and smiles, and he says, "Have luck with whatever it is you're doing." I'm afraid I cannot stay in chat.
That we kill? Sorry, that was metagaming. Anyways, go on.
Okay. So as you enter in and Dr. Otto Octavius leaves, Elowen looks back at you and says, and she pulls up 2 baskets, one containing the scales, one containing the bones. And she says, "If I might be so kind as to ask, what do you plan to do with these?"
Just make a formal-looking helmet. I don't expect it'll actually protect me from any damage, but it'll look pretty cool, and it'll memorial for my lost dragon friend, whose bones are currently in that basket.
Well, I could craft a helmet for you.
Amazing. That would be great. I think I'm going to take and make some sort of small dagger out of them for skinning animals. I don't think it'll in combat, but if you want to craft a helmet out of the bones there, that would be fantastic.
The helmet would be craftable out of the scales themselves. Looking at the bones, it would be very easy to craft either a pair of daggers or even a bow.
Oh, I see. So actually make a scale mail helm. Is that what you're saying?
Indeed.
All right. Let's do that.
The process is difficult, but I'm confident that I could do something with it.
Your abilities. You seem to have done a pretty good job here, separating the two. So, yeah, you have my.
You have my staff, free, of course. My bow, my axe.
I said, I'm afraid I won't do it for free, of course.
Well, what sort of price were you thinking?
Since you provided the materials, it will cost quite a bit of labor and not more than a bit of craftsmanship in order to craft these items. The helmet might cost, let's say, about 50 gold pieces. For the bow itself, closer to 200.
Sure. What's
250 gold for both.
Okay, yeah, sure. Let's do that. That sounds great.
Okay. You hand her 250 gold. She hands you a receipt and says, it will take some time in order to craft this correctly. If you come back within a day, they should be ready.
I'll stay in town. I'll be back.
She smiles and as you leave says, I appreciate working on something decent for a change that doesn't involve some poor miner's shoes.
Kelly, was this I'm just asking, was this the same dwarf that had a problem making anything out of this to begin with?
No. That was
this is an elven woman.
Okay.
She's a skinner and a tenor. The dwarvish blacksmith
said no. Okay,
said no.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I was also confused too.
So Miles, as you're leaving this place, where are you heading off to then? Kurt, I should say.
They're at the bookstore, but I don't think I know that.
I would have told you that I was heading there.
That's fine. I'll head that way, and if I run into him, I run into him. If I don't, then I'll find something else to do in the city.
Okay. Roran, you headed out to the bookstore ahead of time, and as you enter into this place, the building itself is carved out of stone with also a stone roof, and the sign outside appears to be also stoned, and carved in it is a simple rustic-looking sign that simply says Toff's Tomes and Historical Sundries. And as you enter into the building, you can see rows upon rows of bookshelves all around you, and you kind of looking around. The place seems perhaps a little dusty. You can see more than a few scrolls piled up on top of what looks to be maybe a clerk's desk, but you don't see anybody.
Excuse me.
You hear a voice above you going, hold on, I'm coming, hold on, hang your horses, sit down for a moment. And as you look up, you're surprised to see since you all play WoW, I don't know if any of you entered into the Scribe's Sanctum within Dalaran. It kind of looks like this one-story building, but when you enter in and look up, it's like there's this huge spire of all these floating books kind of floating in between a bunch of these bookshelves. That's basically what this looks like. You enter into a plain building, look up, and flying around on a ladder between all these bookshelves is a gnome who's furiously kind of sorting through books as a bunch of these different tomes just fly magically through the air. And he just swirls down and down and down, dodging back and forth between these flying books. One almost seems like it's about to hit him in the head, but interestingly, it misses him by the barest of hair. And as he runs down, you can see this gnome is wearing a pair of spectacles that has overlaid glasses that allows him. It seems like it allows him to zoom in a bit more onto specific words. He seems to be a bit older. He's balding on top, but has streaks of white hair on either side. And as this ladder lands right next to you, he hops off merrily and looks up and says, "Well, what is it? What is it? What do you want? Speak up! Speak up! I haven't had a all day. Come on! Come on!"
I cut the note. No. I'm wondering about mythical creatures. Is probably the best way that I can describe
Mythical
it.
creatures? What are we talking? Unicorns? Woodland creatures? Dryads? Dragons?
Oh, it has wings.
Speak up. Continue on. That's not enough to go by.
A humanoid figure bathed in radiant flames with wings.
Radiant flame. Radiant flame. Mythical creatures. Are you sure you're not talking about religious creatures?
Possibly. I'm honestly not sure.
Radiant creatures with wings. Radiant, mythical. Not many there. You could argue perhaps the spirit of a griffin or a hippogriff, but spiritual? Angels.
It was a humanoid figure, so I don't think it was a griffin.
Humanoid? Humanoid and radiant. No griffin, no bird-like. What are those? What else can you tell me about the creature?
That's really about all I can tell you that I know. Oh no! It carried a weapon of some sorts and a shield.
A weapon, sentient, a sentient being, not bestial. An angel.
Did Kelly disconnect?
Can you hear me? Hello?
No,
Yeah, we can hear you.
He says he says an angel.
Oh yes. Okay. Sorry, I thought you were going to continue there.
Sorry.
Possibly. Do you have any books on this type of information?
Well, that depends on how deeply into religious lore you want to go by, boy. Knowledge and religion.
I'm gonna take a wild guess here and say that this creature would be from these areas. Maybe the
angels, mythical beings, not mythical, religious, spiritual beings. Can wander the earth, can hide celestials. Celestials may not even be angels, might be spiritual ential bodies, perhaps that of a planar entity emerging from some other plane of existence. You have seen something interesting.
I've dreamt something interesting.
Ah! Dreams. What is there to glean from dreams but... No, I'm afraid there's not much I can give you in the way of dreams, boy. But angels, celestials. Let's see. And he hops onto his ladder and begins to zoom across bookshelf to bookshelf, furiously making his way through books. And as he does, he pulls out a book on celestial beings, and he kind of flips through a number of the pages. And as soon as I open up that detail on my screen, humanoid, celestials, angels. There is the diva. There is the Empyrean. Not a Pegasus, no, bestial. A solar. Perhaps too red for that. And he flips through continuously. What else do you know about this creature? Anything about it? What kind of weapon it was wielding?
A gavel of sorts?
A gavel?
And a shield.
Justice.
For sure.
It could be justice, could be purity, could simply be nothing more than a guardian. I'm afraid there's not much else to glean here, but from what you've described to me, it sounds like an angel.
And there's no religious or lore related to angels in the south of the... What's that place called? Shit.
Angels are their own beings coming from their own plane.
And what plane would that be?
It is beyond the physical one that you and I know. Though they can certainly inhabit the physical, taking on the form of, anyone. It can look just like you and me.
Can it take on the form of anything?
Interesting concept. I suppose it's not out of the ordinary. If demon can very well possess objects, creatures, other people, it is not so far-fetched to believe that angels could do the same.
Is there anyone in town who I could possibly speak to learn more about this?
Perhaps the shrine. Pray to whatever god or goddess you think might be aligned with an angel.
I don't follow any religion. Well, I want to thank you for your time, though. Thanks a lot for this. You've definitely given me a lot of insight. That's for sure.
Okay. As you begin thanking him, the rest of you have begun to make your way into this. I
wanted to quickly toss him some coin and ask him to keep quiet. 50 gold.
Okay. He gives you a wink and happily takes the coin. The rest of you are wandering into the building. You see Roran talking with this older gnome.
As I walk in, I'm going to ask, so did you find what you were looking for?
No, sadly I did not.
Who are you? What do you want? How can I help you?
I have some questions of a somewhat personal nature I would like to speak with you about.
Will this require an audience?
What was that?
Do you want an audience for this?
Not for this particular portion of it, no.
Then perhaps you shouldn't have brought so many friends.
Well, okay. Is Roaring done? Is he like? Do I sense that he's leaving?
Yes.
Okay, let's say yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if Kurt has met up with me by this point, I don't mind if Kurt stays because Kurt knows my backstory if he read it on the when I posted it the other day. I would like to give him a quick summary of how I came to be traveling with these folks and about my former master. I'm looking for information on a mage named Obark, and more importantly, I'm trying to discover what this book that I discovered with what I thought were his remains might be.
Okay. Are you taking this book out in front of everybody and basically talking about all this and giving it to him?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So the rest of you are watching as Kent talks about a former master called Obark and mentions a book of some kind. And as he pulls it out, it seems to be sealed. You can see it is leather bound, although the type of leather is not immediately known. It seems to be shrouded in some kind of darker looking energy. And as you hand it out to him, you watch as he kind of grabs the book, immediately places it on the desk in front of him, and grabs a nearby tome and begins looking.
I would like to warn him real fast. When I did that, I nearly lost my sanity.
What kind of book is this?
I don't know. That's why I'm here to find out.
Well, if that's the risk, I'm afraid I'm not something I'm immediately keen in. That is a risk you can take. Now, as to the question of your master, Obark, perhaps we can find something within the old quarters of the mages. And he kind of flips through. You see, no, that's not it. Mages of Winter gone? Damn it, Mages of Neverwinter? No. Orion. Osiris, no. And he kind of flips through, and he eventually grabs a tome, lays it on the desk, and he flips through, and eventually comes, Obak, mage and scholar of Candlekeep, exiled, it says, perhaps 45 years ago, for experiments in necromancy.
Well, that doesn't sound too good. When I was apprenticed to, or when I was sold into apprenticeship to him, I was not aware of that, obviously. And I don't know if my parents were.
And as he flips through, he says, there's not much given here about Obak besides save for his exile. It says he was otherwise a very studious and otherwise particularly quiet person.
And that's
No significant accomplishments. Nothing really to write home about.
with your skills, would it be possible for you to take the book is beyond my skills. Would it be possible for you to do something to ensure your mind and maybe take a look at this and see what it is?
He hands the book back to you and he says, I'm afraid this is something perhaps only you can truly learn. The book itself is bound within a dark energy, one that seems to be bound to that of the bearer. If I try to open it myself, who knows what sort of risk I might be exposed to. You said you almost went mad trying to open it yourself.
Well, I was a young mage at the time, and I was not expecting what I found.
How long have you been carrying the book?
Oh, Killy, what would you say, 6 months?
Well, if you're talking about a young mage, you would have gotten that maybe at 18. How old would you say you are now?
I think 19, so a year.
A little over a year, maybe.
Yeah, okay. So I've had it with me for a year. It was the only thing I kept outside of a few journals of his that really don't shed any light on what he was or what he was doing, other than the fact that I apparently was not his only apprentice.
The book itself is bound to those who are familiar with the bear. It takes time. Hold on to it, grow in your experience, and perhaps you might be able to open it and learn its secrets.
Well, I thank you for your suggestion. I appreciate the help.
Now then, if that's all, does anybody else have anything else? It is running rather late. I would like to eat some dinner here.
No, that'll be all. Thank you for your time for me, and unless Kurt or Garen have anything. I don't know if Garen went with us or not.
He would be with you.
Yeah.
Presumably.
Don't we need to learn more about our quest?
You mean the quest that we didn't hear a conversation about and Pant has to go
Quest
talk
to
to him
the
about?
quest to go to the mountain that is south of the north? We're trying to figure out where it is. We don't
South
know.
of the north to the east.
You would have known just by discussing and still talking about this, even before the conversation between Will and that mage, that if there was any place that you'd be able to kind of pinpoint where this thing is, it would be here.
Okay, go for it, guys.
Yes, sir. One more thing. We are looking for a mountain of sorts. It is south of the north.
To the east.
What we have?
A mountain.
It's called what's the name of that? You're the smart guy here. I'll pat you on the back.
Are you patting me on the back?
You already
I'm
left.
never patting you on the back.
Oh, okay. I'm slightly confused.
Do you have a map of this place?
We
Kind of.
It's a
Friend
long
has it.
story.
It's a magical map that only appears.
Perhaps if we were
sometimes.
able to see the map, I'd be able to pinpoint it. The more information that one can be given, the more information that one can glean.
You think we should tell Will about this tonight after he's done performing, and perhaps he can come back and visit himself?
Sure. Do you remember what the name of it was?
The Stone Tooth?
The Stone Tooth. Have you ever heard of a mountain called the Stone Tooth?
The Stone Tooth.
Something like that.
Perhaps a stone tooth, a hill. Perhaps a hill within a series of hills south of the north. South of the north, you say? And he begins to flip through
Far
it,
north,
continues.
but on the southern part of the very far north, is what
Okay.
we've heard.
Well, before I continue any further, I can't help it. Garen, you've been pretty quiet. Pants, you're muted. Are both of you back, or are both of you adding anything?
They AFK real quick.
I get,
And Pant is not in the room with us.
yeah, I was waiting for you to cue us that we had arrived.
The rest of you would have arrived together, because George, you would have gotten there about the same time as the rest of them did.
Perfect. Okay.
Kent and I are arriving late, is my understanding, and I figured I would just.
Okay.
Okay. You would arrive there at the same time that Druid did, so you're all there as this conversation is going on.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so
Pant, go for it.
I'm sorry. What am I going for?
He's asking about he has asked about the stone. He has asked about this map. You had mentioned the stone tooth. He had asked if it was possible to see this map that you're carrying.
This guy looks shady.
This guy looks shady.
he has the bookstore.
Nah. What does Will? I mean, does Will get a sense that this guy's on the level?
You have no reason to believe that he's actively trying to manipulate you. However, you do get the sense that he values knowledge and perhaps knows more than he might let on at times.
Yeah, Will say, gee, guys, sorry, I don't happen to have the map with me. However, I do have our next destination in mind, and it's close to the mark.
Okay. If that's the way you want to go, I'm with you on this.
I'll inform Will that we've been asked to accompany a group to a town with and that we should do that and then head to his destination.
Yeah,
Ask him what he thinks.
Sir Bradford.
I'm sorry. Did Sir Bradford want us to go with him?
He said he would like the company.
For company on the road there.
He had mentioned that after you had finished with whatever task you were doing, that he would mind the company, and that he encouraged you that after you were done with whatever it was you were doing, or whatever it was you were tasked with next, that if you had free time, to then meet him in a town called Red Larch, which you would all know is a suburb of Neverwinter.
I thought that he wanted a company on the road to there.
No,
Sorry.
he didn't. He didn't ask for company on the road per se.
I took that as a hook for
Afterwards.
a potential. Potential hook after we find the stone
Journey. Yep, I got you. I misunderstood. All right, never mind.
So, don't worry, you were not the only one. That was what I got. The impression I got too.
Off to wherever you said you wanted to go.
Of course, you could go down there if you really wanted to, but
it's in the other direction.
It's in the other direction, completely the other direction.
Where are you guys heading to now?
What's that, Garen?
Where are you guys heading to now?
To the inn, Will says. Let us off to the inn. I have much to show you there.
I'd like to go check out the Gladiators Arena.
You get the sense that Will has more to say. He doesn't want to say it
here
in front of this guy.
Good.
Okay. Then, as you leave, Toph will simply bow and says, I hope I could be of help. Thank you for your time. Now, please, it is getting late. Out. If you're all done, please get out. And he almost kind of pushes you out and then shuts the door, and you can hear erratic footfall moving. You can hear more than a few tomes kind of instantaneously shuffling their way inside, and that's it. So you are now outside of this place. It's getting to be a little late, maybe about 4:45 or so. Royal close to 5 o'clock, where all the other shops are beginning to close and everybody's getting ready to go home. Tuck, you had said you wanted to check out the fighting pits. Pant, you had a performance you said you wanted to do.
Yes.
What are the rest of you doing?
Well, I'll go back to the inn.
I'm gonna
And I'll
wander the
follow Tuck
streets,
to the fighting pits.
preferably a low-income area. If there's one nearby.
I'm sorry, you're doing what now?
I want to roam the streets.
Oh, you wanna
roam the streets. Yeah,
Okay.
low-income area, preferably.
Okay. So you all begin to wander off on your own direction. So, Will, you're heading to the inn. Who said they were going to the inn as well?
Kent is going to
Kent.
the inn.
Okay, so you two are going to the inn. Kurt and Tucky, you're heading out to the fighting pits. Warren, you're kind of roaming the streets.
Mhm.
Okay, so Kurt and and Tuck, you begin to wander your way to the northeast corner of the city, and it's the more poor place. And as you begin to wander to that district,
Sorry.
you do see a round, not perfectly circular, but kind of like the Roman Colosseum, except not nearly as grand. And as you wander close to the pits, there you do see a number of pews set up around. And looking inside, you do see what looks to be perhaps some sort of elven sorcerer fighting against what looks to be maybe some sort of dwarven paladin of some kind. And as you enter into the pits, you watch as the sorcerer ducks out of the way of this paladin's swing. He's holding his sword such that the hilt is facing his face rather than holding the blade directly out to him. And as the paladin begins to block the sorcerer's flames, he begins to charge up to him, and having the hilt facing his face, he punches the elf with his shield and then uppercuts with the sword. And you watch as the elf goes down. The nearby dwarves and humans that make up this crowd begin to cheer, and you hear someone, presumably using thaumaturgy, goes, Thanks for the bets, folks. Come to the front in order to collect them. We'll have the next round in a few moments." And as you watch this, the rest of the crowd begins to kind of filter out. You begin to get an eye out, and you can see what appears to be my notes for this. You can see what appears to be a gnome who looks to be perhaps middle-aged, and he's dressed in a fine-looking coat and what appears to be a top hat. He has a sort of a twirly mustache around him and a thin goatee, and a set of spectacles that rest on the very, very end of a long nose. And he's not too far from you, maybe about 20 feet. You can also see within a box with a line beginning to form in front of it is a dwarf who appears to be a relatively quiet sort, but he begins divvying out any winnings of the bets. You can see he's fidgeting through a lot of the money.
I want to approach the middle-aged gnome.
Okay. As you approach him, he looks up at you and says, "Well, you look like a tough one. You've seen you for your scraps. Are you hoping to get a fight in the pits here, pal?"
Possibly. Just trying to get an idea what's going on around here. If you've seen anything interesting.
The most interesting part of this place is going to be right down there, friend. And I can guarantee you got a chance at some interesting glory and a good chunk of cash if you're willing to participate.
Who's been participating today?
The next match, we're looking at getting somebody in for one of our local champions, a dragonborn, goes by the name Cyanagos.
Sure, why not?
Now, if you're willing, I'd just have you sign this little here paper. And he hands you a paper, a little form, and as well as a pen in order to sign it. And as he does, he mentions, "We have had people die in the pits, by the way. This form, it doesn't happen. It happens very, very rarely. More often than not, we have staff on hand in order to handle any sort of serious grave injuries. But this form essentially says that you're entering this on your own free volition, and you're aware of any potential consequences." It hurts to do that voice. My God. I'm sorry.
So this form is for the other person then?
What's that?
So this form is for the other person then?
No, the form is for you to sign. It's basically a consensual form that basically says you're going in on your own free volition, aware of the consequences.
You obviously didn't catch my meaning in that, but okay. I will sign the form.
Oh, I see. I see. If you're saying that to him, he'll respond with a hearty laugh.
Yes, good. I did.
Kurt, are you doing anything while this is going on?
I'm just admiring the spectacles. I do not plan on fighting in these pits.
Okay. You watch as as the remaining, as you see a number of dwarves. Well, you first watch as the gnome makes his way up to the dwarf, and he yells out to the crowd as it approaches. Next fight's happening in a few minutes, folks. A newcomer by the name of Tuck going against the local fighter and local champion Cyanagos.
Got a bit of a cough, this guy.
And you watch as a crowd is beginning to form around this dwarf who seems to be handling the bets.
Must be all the smoking here. But I'm going to head over to the bet-taking dwarf.
Okay. The line begins to kind of move around him. You eventually get up there, and he says, I assume you might be Tuck then. You better get ready down in the pits then. We're getting ready to start here pretty soon. And he looks over at you, Kurt, and says, are you looking to bet anything on this fight for your friend?
Would that I could. Can't. Gold in the pouch, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, I might as well bet on myself then.
How much?
20 gold.
He'll take note of it and write it down. And as he does, he mentions, you win 40 gold on a win. And of course, if you win, you also do get a portion of all the bets.
Good.
Okay, he writes it down, and you begin to make your way down into the pit. Kurt, you manage to find a spot nearby within the arena.
Sure.
And as people begin to find their way back into their seats, you then continue to watch as Tuck, you enter out of the left area, and you hear in a very loud voice this gnome cry out, in the left corner, we have a newcomer. A furious slapping monk by the name of Friar Tuck. And you hear a couple of claps and cheers within the stands. And on the right corner, we have the local champion, the Red Devil himself, Cyanagos. And Tuck, you watches from across you. You see a towering red dragonborn, easily a foot taller than you, covered in splint mail nearly from head to toe, save for a helmet. He comes walking out of the right area. He is wielding a greatsword, and as he wanders out, he looks at you and says, very well, good boy, Ocho, good chap. Give him a good fight here, what? Fight, begin! Go ahead and roll initiative.
How did we get transported to the cast of My Fair Lady? That's what I'm.
Okay. Now, Kurt, is there anything you would like to do as far as initiative order goes? Is there anything you're going to try to add from the stands? I might add that it might not go well for you.
Disqualified. Yeah, no, I'm just and cheer him on. When it comes around to my turn, I'll be like, get him! That'll be my turn.
All right. Okay. So, Tuck, the fight has started. You're up first.
Are these actually 5 feet tiles?
Yes,
still
yes,
normal?
5 feet tiles still. It's about half a football field size.
Okay. Dragonborn. Do I have any idea what kind of class he is? I'm assuming.
Make a perception check.
Sure. Oh, Jesus.
Even with an 8, you can kind of glean either he's judging on the plate mail he's wearing, you're not sure because you haven't seen him cast any spells. He could be a paladin or a cleric, or he might just very well be a fighter.
Gotcha. I'm going to deftly move here.
Mm-hmm.
Hiding behind the pillar, kind of eyeing up to the side, see what he does.
Okay. Will that be
You know
your turn
what?
then?
You should put me in the turn order. That way I can actually
Go ahead and roll your
make a roll each
Go ahead
turn.
and roll your initiative then. Okay.
Hope I didn't click on myself though.
Well, your token's not on screen here. I'll just drag a copy of it over to here.
One down at the bottom there.
You added one in.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Go.
Okay. The
Yes.
Dragonborn. Sorry. We'll say you've passed
Yeah,
your
when it
first
comes
round.
back around. That's totally fine.
All right. So the Dragonborn is going to move behind this pillar, and then its turn. Tuck, what are you doing from the stands then?
I want to make a perception roll to see if if he's cheating at all. If there's anything that he's doing that looks like he's cheating.
No, not that you can tell anyway.
Put myself in the eye while trying to focus on him.
Yeah,
All right.
apparently. Tuck, you're up next.
Look at this fucking chess match we got going on.
That's right. It is.
Oh shit!
I am going to. I am going to move here.
Are you hearing that music, by the way?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, if it's too loud or too distracting, let me know. I'll turn it down and turn
It's
it
a
up.
little loud.
Little
You don't
loud.
have to.
Ourselves.
No, hey, you guys can turn it down individually.
Oh, can we?
Yep.
Oh,
Settings menu.
Here, I'll just turn it down a little bit.
Yeah, it's not bad.
that's good.
I am going to move here. Here. At which point, I'm going to tap Kim with my staff.
Okay, you using the throne property on that staff, I take?
Yeah.
Nice
9 out of 10.
match over here.
All right, that 24 will absolutely hit.
Wow.
Now, we're going to use the one-handed, since you're basically chucking this thing like a spear.
Yes.
So this thing basically bonks right into him. And he goes, "Oh, no, I was surprised at this."
And as it comes back to me,
Mhm.
I am then going to move over here,
Whoa.
which should be, my movement.
Okay.
Your movement's 45. Holy shit.
Yep.
Holy crap!
Okay. His sister next. He's going to. By the way, you've heard more than a few gasps and cheering as this staff flies from your hand like a spear, bonks this dragonborn upside the head, and then magically returns back to your grasp as you begin to dart back towards this nearby pillar. The dragonborn will move right up next to this pillar. Now, all the time, he's keeping the flat of his blade within the sand. And as he gets that close to you, he's going to attempt to fling as much of the sand up as possible into your eyes. I'd like you to make a dexterity saving throw to see if you can shield yourself in time.
Oh snap, dirty tricks.
Fortunately, you do. You manage to shield your eyes before this thing can manage to blind you. Kurt, are you doing anything?
Just another perception check of the crowd to see if anyone's doing any dirty tricks.
There's nothing in the crowd that suggests that anybody's trying to do anything dirty. In the case of this fight, everything kind of looks clean on the up and up. You do notice, however, more than a few bloodstains that kind of cover the arena. For what it's worth.
Okay. Okie doke.
Tuck, you shield your eyes just before the sand begins to hit you. What would you like to do?
After seeing him fling the sand into my eyes, I get slightly angry. So I'm going to throw my staff at him again from here.
Mm-hmm. Jeez. Yeah, that'll hit.
Someone's playing Legend of Zelda.
At which point, I will move.
Into the stand?
Yeah.
There.
Okay.
That's annoying.
What's annoying?
Oh, nothing. I'm going
Okay,
to
I'm just
go-
saying. I thought you were talking about the music.
No, I'm talking about myself. Just talking to myself.
Okay.
Can move at this point
Yeah, I'm gonna move
to
there.
attack you.
I'm gonna move there. No matter how I deal with this, he's gonna attack me anyway. So
All right. I'll go next. He's going to move right up next to you. And he's going to... You watch as he opens his mouth, kind of annoyed at getting pinged by you over and over and over again. And you watch as a breath of fire emanates from his mouth. I need you to make... I think he rolls particularly well. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. Yeah. You take 2 points of damage.
awesome.
And I'll just adjust it there. Kurt, are you doing anything while this is going on? You see your monk get covered in a little bit of fire, but otherwise it seems like this Dragonborn's taking harder hits here.
Yeah. I'll just perceive again. Just keep an eye out. I don't think there is anything going on, but I'm looking around
Okay.
as I do.
You do watch as the gnome, who is kind of watching over the fights, leans over next to the dwarf in the box and begins to mutter something.
Okay. Do I kind of what his like? Does he look mad or happy or
Make an
plotting
insight
something
check.
evil?
Make an insight check.
That's what I was.
Okay. It's kind of hard to tell from this distance exactly what he's saying or exactly what his intent is. He doesn't seem particularly happy or particularly angry in any particular sense, but other than that, you're not able to really glean anything.
Keep an eye on
Tuck
him
your-
for next round.
Tuck, you're up next.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
If I do flurry of blows, does that count as my bonus action?
The bonus action would be your offhand strike. The flurry of blows allows you to basically make 2 offhand strikes as a bonus action. So
So it's still considered my bonus action.
it would still count as your bonus action. Yes.
Right. What is dash? Double movement?
Dash is double movement. You basically forgo your attack action in order to move an additional, however much your feet is.
45 feet.
So 90.
Yep.
And if I do dodge as a bonus action, that's on his next attack, right?
It would be on his next attack. He would have disadvantage on the roll.
So I'm gonna hit him
All right.
with my staff.
Okay. Are you using this one-handed or two-handed?
Two-handed, because I can't. My bonus action is something else.
So he'll take that 10 points of damage. He's looking kind of on the ropes here.
Let me find the goddamn. And I'm gonna spend 1 key
All right.
with patient defense to give me dodge.
Okay. It's this thing's turn next. He's a little annoyed, but he looks at you and says, "Good fight, old boy. Good fight. A bit of a stiff upper lip then, but my turn now, mate." And he will attempt to sling at you with his greatsword as you actively try to dodge it. A 13, I don't think is going to beat your armor class.
It will not.
Okay, he's going to spend an action surge, and he's going to take an additional attack. And critically fail. The rest of the crowd is beginning to gasp and cheer in your direction as you seem to be easily handling this thing. Much to everybody's surprise, really. Kurt, what are you doing?
Where is the guy in comparison to me?
In relation to you, he is maybe he's about 15 feet above you and just outside of the arena, or just outside the last rung of the arena up the stairs.
Can my pet traverse that distance and just be close and listen to what he's saying?
Sure. Does your pet understand any language?
Maybe? I don't know how that works as far as it being my pet. I don't know how that thing is.
You command it mentally and it understands you, but the pet itself can probably understand whatever language you speak, maybe common, if you spent enough time with it. So we'll argue that it maybe at the very least understands common.
Perfect. Sounds great.
Okay. The pet is listening in, and it's kind of you think you hear the pet. Well, what are you trying to command this pet to, just kind of to listen in? Because you're not able to hear through the pet, right?
Right. I just wanted to whether something bad is going on with that guy or not. I don't know.
Okay.
Whether he feels that something.
The pet flies up, kind of
hurt
waits a
my
little
friend.
bit, and then he kind of wanders back to you and gives a little nod as if, yeah, something's up.
Knew it. All right. I'll way, I suppose.
Okay. As you begin heading that way, Tuck, this thing is battered and beaten, but is otherwise enjoying the hard fight you are giving it.
If I move, as long as I'm still next to him, it's not going to give him an attack of opportunity, right?
As long as you stay within 5 feet of him, it does not trigger an attack of opportunity.
So I will move here, and then attack him. And I think we said one-handed if I use flurry of blows.
You'd be one-handed because your flurry of blows
Right.
would be your unarmed strike.
Right. So I hit him with my staff.
Yep.
Followed by slap beside the head, and then that one there misses as well.
Okay. Now, fortunately, the quarterstaff is actually going to be enough that takes him out. So your quarterstaff swings hard and bashes this thing one last time against the head, and you watch as he falls back over unconscious. The crowd roars in disbelief, and you hear the gnome cry out, Kurt, as you begin wandering that direction, using thaumaturgy to make his voice louder. It seems the newcomer has finally triumphed. Bets will be taking place. Please come forward to collect your bets. We'll have the next round momentarily. And you're out of combat. You're wandering out of the pit. Kurt, you are making your way up to this table, where this dwarf is kind of handling the bets, and the gnome is otherwise kind of waiting.
I don't think they've done anything yet, so I'll just watch this take place, I guess. I don't know.
The table at the top there, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wander to the bet taker.
And as you wander to this dwarf, he looks up at you and says, "Congratulations. Here's your gold on your bet, your 20 back plus an additional 20, and your gold on the winnings for a total of 150. So you get you get 40 gold from your bet, and then you get an additional 150 on top of that.
Nice.
Dang,
So I had
nice.
233 plus 150, so 383.
We could give up adventuring and just finance his gladiatorial career and make a lot of money.
You know, Killy, I gotta tell you, I'm a little disappointed that you didn't say, okay, he knocks him out with the quarterstaff, and then his dick comes up and smacks him in the face as he gets knocked down.
He quickly failed with that cock whirlwind, so I wasn't about to allow it.
No,
Sorry.
I meant on him.
So
I
I
sure,
have my
Tuck
money.
smacks himself in the face with his own cock at the end of combat.
Yay, good. So So this guy gave me my money. I have nothing else to say to him.
Mhm.
I'm gonna head back down here and see if my newfound friend's okay.
Okay. The medical team is already on top of him, and one of them seems like he cast cure wounds on him or something to that effect. And as he gets up, he looks at you and says, "Good show, old boy, good show. Well fought, well fought." And he reaches out to shake your hand.
I reach out and shake his hand,
Okay.
and I bow slightly to him.
He returns the bow and says, "Haven't had a fight like that in ages. Haven't had a hard fight like that in ages, mate."
Nor have I. You're a good fighter. I hope we meet again.
Indeed, lad, indeed.
And I leave.
Okay. He
And
gets
I go
up.
talk
kinda,
to the yeah.
He gets up. He follows the medical staff. He's kind of using his quarterstaff or his broadsword to as almost a sort of a limp, grasping his head, and maybe has a little bit of a splitting headache.
I'm gonna head over to the not bet taking guy
Hmm.
and see what he's saying.
He's talking to what appears to be maybe some other ranger or some sort of human ranger or scout of some kind who's getting ready for another fight. As he wanders away as you approach, and he says, "Pretty well fought there, pal."
Yeah, thank you. I may come see you again. Keep your ears
arena-
open. if you
the
hear
arena is
anything
always
fun around
open.
here. You really can't do that voice.
No, not for very long. It hurts the throat. Okay, Kurt, are you doing anything as all this is occurring?
Just being moral support, man.
All right. Okay, so you've had your fun in the pits. You've collected your money. Now, Roran, you are wandering the streets of Mirabar.
Yes.
The time here is pretty dark. Most of the hustle and the bustle of the city has seemed to have died down, and there are more than a few lights on within the city. And as you wander around, you catch more than a few smells from some of the local taverns. More than a few dwarves wandering around. More than a few that certainly seem to be a little bit drunk. Now, as you're wandering around, is there anything in particular you're trying to look at or find, or are you just kind of sightseeing?
I'm going off my backstory here, and I'm acting as a vigilante, I guess, looking over that type of stuff.
Okay. You're wandering around. You can't help but notice there's a pretty solid guard presence within the city. It is very easy to identify the guards. Many of on the top side here are human, although there are at least a couple of dwarves. It's very easy to identify them by the red dyed armor that they wear, usually plate or mail, and the symbol on the close to the right shoulder, which is the axes Mirabar. It is two battle axes overlaid on top of one another. And at the moment,
This
go
is
ahead.
in the poor section of town, too?
Yeah, this is even in the poor section of town. Mirabar, you've gotten the sense here that Mirabar, contrary to maybe some of the cities where you've grown up, Mirabar is very, very, very particular about crimes going on, and they care very, very deeply about not necessarily about the citizenry itself or preventing crime from happening, but on confidential information or anything slipping, wealth or anything slipping into the wrong hands or slipping out that doesn't involve some sort of taxation to the city itself.
Okay. So you want me to make a perception?
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check. Okay. You wander around for the bulk of the night. You don't see anything that really stands out to you as suspicious.
Any just generalized, I guess, poor folks who need something?
There are surprisingly no.
No?
Even in the poorer section of the city, a lot of the humans and the dwarves that make up this portion of the city still seem to be fairly well dressed.
Okay. With that in mind, then I'll, with the rest of my time for the night, I'd head on over to the arena.
Okay.
Did you mention that was also in the poor area?
It was in the poor area. You're entering in just as Tuck and Kurt are leaving.
I guess I'll just meet up with them.
Okay.
How'd the fight go?
It went well.
There you
I happened to win,
Oh, you won.
as expected.
Who were you against? Some lowlife?
An armored dragonborn.
Oh, was he well known, well reputed?
Apparently, he was the local champion.
So that makes you the new champion then.
That's right.
You
You can call me the king for now.
I think I'm gonna have to take that title from you.
We will.
Okay.
see.
Another
So
night.
you're winding your way back to the inn then at this point, I take it.
Yes.
All right. Let me stop this music since you're out of the fight here. Okay. So Kent and Pant, you guys have headed back to the inn, and Will rather, and Will, as you enter in, you are given the stage in which to perform. Go ahead and make a performance check, if you would. And is there any additional flourish you might like to add as part of your performance?
Yeah. Will ask Innkeeper Connery's permission to set the mood.
By all means, lad.
Yeah, I want to draw the curtains to dim the light.
Okay.
I want the lights dim and perhaps some candles around the stage, just so he's lit up more than the room.
Okay. That can be done.
Yeah. I'll provide an extra, I don't know, gold too. I don't know how much the wine or I guess the popular drink here would be ale.
Ale would be the popular drink. That goes for maybe about 2 silver a piece. The wine is actually Silvery Moon wine imported, and that goes for about 15 silver for a glass.
All right, so I'll put 5 gold coin on the bar for Connery and say, every once in a while, make sure that everyone gets a round on the house. You know, don't tell them it's from me. Don't tell them it's from me, though.
That's a good way to win the audience, lad.
That
should be a good way to win the audience.
I would have them well plied.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so he's going to start by with a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a song, but a story, like an epic, you know.
Sure.
One that his master taught him that is good for drawing the crowd in, because it's got some good plot to it that's thick with intrigue and gets the crowd interested. And has some funny breaks to it, you know, for some laughs, and then a couple of rousing songs that people can, you know, clap along to, and if there's any popular songs that he knows locally, he'll play those crowd.
Sure.
And then perhaps a ballad just to bring it down a little bit, and then just judge the mood of the crowd as far as what you're judging their mood and playing to it.
Okay. Go ahead and make a performance check with advantage.
You can do that.
You are winning over the crowd hand over tooth. The drink certainly seems to be helping to loosen the mood, and everybody is easily enraptured by your wonderful performance.
Good. I want to make sure that the name Will Ferril Beethoven is spoken across the city come morning.
Okay. I'm going to give you inspiration for that.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
So for inspiration, for those who don't know, it's a gimme. It allows you to roll an additional d20 on any sort of check, attack roll, anything. You can give that to anybody at any time you want.
Yeah, it's like bardic inspiration, but instead of a d6.
It basically allows you to give yourself advantage on something, more or less.
Yeah, right, exactly. Or disadvantage.
Right.
I want to apply it as a negative.
Oh, yes.
So that you remember you have inspiration, you can put that on your sheet. There is an actual thing for you. Just check mark it. It's above proficiency bonus.
Yep, I got it.
Sweet.
Okay.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Yep. It was pretty well designed and pretty well played out. So the rest of you are entering back into the inn as you see more than a few interested, somewhat inebriated humans and dwarves and maybe a couple of halflings completely enraptured by Will's performance in a candlelit stage. And you enter in through the sounds of clapping and cheering, and Will, you, throughout the course of the night, make an additional, let's say, 30 gold pieces in tips.
Oh, wonderful. So net, let's call it 25. That's what I laid out for the
Sure.
for the drink. I also like to, as I get into my last hour, say, if there's a comely lass in the audience, I will play for her, so to speak. Make a lot of eye contact, perhaps a romantic ballad or two to make her swoon, and follow that up with some charming conversation. Lure her into my private room.
Okay. There's more. There's at least a handful of human women, younger lasses, as well as a couple of dwarven lasses and at least one halfling lass who seem to be interested. At least a couple of them looking at you with more than a smile and a curtsy.
Yes, halfling women are enthusiastic, but it feels too much like having sex with a child.
Are you saying this out loud?
No. William's thoughts.
Okay.
Thoughts. I'm letting you into his headspace.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll go with the most beautiful human last.
Okay. You see a couple of lasses. One of them looks to be not much older than 20 and has a curled bun of bright red hair that seems to be braided long down the back. She has freckles on her cheek and a curvy figure. There's a blonde woman with her hair cut short. She's wearing a noblewoman's garb and has a bright eyes and a very wide smile. And you can also see a brunette woman who's a little bit older, maybe in her 30s, mid-30s, but otherwise is a thin figure and looks pretty intrigued and interested.
Are any of them wearing a Catholic schoolgirl uniform by chance?
No.
Okay, I'll go with the redhead.
Because it's too close to having sex with a child. One in a full uniform.
Good grief.
Are we wandering in at any point in this? Here?
We're in.
No.
Yes,
inside.
you're enjoying my my performance.
Okay.
You have been given drinks, ale, wine, whatever you want by the barkeep on the house.
Okay. So I'm not sitting. I'm actually standing next to our table, leaning on a post, as I undo my cock and let it hang. It kind of swings a little bit as it settles down. As I keep drinking.
Okay. Pant, as you're trying to enrapture the redhead, what position are you going to take in order to try to catch her attention?
Missionary, followed by doggy style.
Prefer a cowgirl, actually. Better let her do the work.
I'll make myself into.
I'm like I said, I'm going to make a lot of eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
Perform a romantic ballad and almost sing with my body language.
Okay, go ahead and make another performance check. Or, you know what, let's call it a persuasion check, in fact.
Oh.
With advantage or no?
No advantage.
Okay.
She's already enraptured, but we'll call it a persuasion.
Oh.
She is wholly enamored with you.
You know, 70% of musicians say they picked up their first instrument because they wanted to get laid.
I'd say tonight's your lucky night.
Hey, see. Hey. Yeah.
She grabs you by the hand and gestures upstairs.
Thank Thank you all. I bask in the applause.
Mhm.
Because
more
I'm
than a few.
afraid, and I say to my friends at the table, "There's one more performance this evening. if you'll excuse me." And I'm off to my private room with the redhead for the remainder of the evening to give her an evening she will not soon forget.
How much
Okay.
does it cost to watch that?
Do I need to make an athletics check?
You know what? Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna ask that you make a we'll call it an athletics check, followed by a constitution check.
Oh, good God. Oh. All right. Athletics.
Mhm.
I'll add a d6 of bardic inspiration to that.
Sing himself a tune.
All right, go ahead and inspire.
I'll add another d6 of bardic inspiration to that.
Please.
There's the dice.
Please.
All right, there we go. That's 16. I'll take that.
And go ahead and make your constitution check.
Very good. Very good.
The spirit was willing.
Okay.
2 16s.
Okay.
It's meant to be.
You don't go into too many positions, but you hold your own.
Well, actually, I was kind of hoping she'd hold it for me.
Better than average, but not an excellent. We'll call it that. All
Well,
right.
I
Well,
could
this
live
is
with
healing.
I can live
This
with
is
But
a solid 4 stars. So, what are the rest of you doing?
I'll be going to bed.
Okay.
I've been shaking my head since he left.
I guess Kent, who was with me at the time, has your large room on the top.
Yeah, you have a larger room that's basically accommodating the rest of you.
I'll be trash talking him throughout the night.
Okay.
Just because Friar talk. Gotta make sure he wants to fight me in the future.
Okay. Okay.
Keep
for
pulling
this-
out that compass and it'll come earlier.
Better watch yourself. You might trip over yourself there.
No, it dangles just enough off the ground that we're good.
Okay.
Say that until I take out your kneecaps.
Guys, I just need 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just otherwise indisposed anyway.
All right.
Killy, I'm assuming the night passes, and
Unless there's something you really, really want to do in the inn, or otherwise try to strike up.
No.
Yeah, the night will pass. If you haven't regained your hit points and all your shit already, go ahead and do so. And it is the early morning.
First thing in the morning, I'd like to go out and get those spell components I talked to you about. If you could it's a small, 10 small straight pieces of iron, and it would be like some talc and enough
Right.
silver powder. If you can give me a gold price on that, I'll deduct it.
Okay. For the sake of absolute expediency, you learn of a general store called Mandy's that would have probably all of this, and you enter in the early morning and buy all this stuff. It costs you maybe about a total of 10 gold pieces.
That's fine. Thank you.
Mhm.
I didn't think you really wanted to go through the whole, okay, this is what I'm buying at the store.
It was up to you.
Just a kind of off-topic question right now. Did you have the experience we got the other day for killing that boss?
Yeah, I did. You're nowhere close to 4 yet.
Yeah. No, I was just curious if you did or not.
I did kind of at the last minute here, but yeah, I have a running tally of your total experience.
And we're doing experience.
I'm keeping track of experience outside of the game.
Okay.
It's going to be kind of a mixture of experience and milestone. It basically comes down to, I'm going to keep track of experience just to keep an eye on things, but if we get to a point where I think you're going to need another level, I'll just give you another level.
Gotcha. Did just off topic here, did we ever sort of the gold and such from last session? Yeah. Well, I think.
I don't think you did.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That's up to your treasurer who's AFK right now.
Yeah, he keeps a running tally. We usually split at the end of this.
Yeah.
Show.
Yeah,
So
I just didn't know if it happened last time or not.
We did get enough. Like when we get a good amount after doing something useful there, we'll sell it off then.
The only thing that was around was some jewelry and a dagger,
Yeah.
and that was it basically.
You got
Speaking
some
of the
extra gold and
dagger.
silver from the sarcophagus, but otherwise, yeah.
Yeah,
And a fucking amazing staff.
you know,
That too.
I'm just poor, if you guys remember.
Okay. Is there anything else the rest of you are doing at the start of the morning here?
Just waiting anxiously to go back to the armor.
It would be open at this point.
If
If you want to wander over there on your own.
Sure, if they're all done, I thought it would take 24 hours. But yeah, I'll head
go
that
ahead
way
and
then.
check my compass to see if it's still pointing north.
Right now, it seems like it's pointing at Kent's staff and glowing.
I'm away from Kent. I'm gonna step away from Kent and just double check.
Okay, it's still pointing at his staff.
I don't like the staff.
In fact, I forgot about this. We'll say overnight, while you're sleeping, you have another vision of this bright, radiant creature.
Okay.
And as you're sleeping in the same room with the rest of them, it seems to reach out as if wanting to grasp onto the staff that Kent has close to his bedside. But as it does, a dark energy seems to repulse it. And you feel a sense of anger and of burning anger. Just burning anger. And this vision ends.
Okay.
But yes, Kurt, the armor would be open at this point if you wanted to go back to, or the armor smith, the leather worker would be open if you wanted to go back to her.
Yeah, I'll head that way.
Okay. You head back that way. For the sake of expediency, since you've already paid her, she will hand you your helmet and your bow. And that's the helmet.
Nice.
That's the bow.
We put these down and move on. Sweet, thank you.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Nice. It's pretty sweet.
Slightly jealous.
On the way out of the inn, by the way, I asked the innkeeper if he has some spare lard I could borrow, possibly in a jar or a container.
We might have some spare pig's lot in the back.
Sorry, the bard took it. It's something about needing lube.
Damn it.
Look, Buggy,
Trust me, I would need more than a jar, but it's okay.
Look, Buggy, with that persuasion check, if you couldn't get her in the mood the right way, then there was a fucking problem.
I can show you a jar of lard. Well, how much lard are you hoping to get?
Just one container full.
A small jar could cost, let's say, about 5 silver.
Sure.
He hands you or he goes back, he scoops up a jar of this pig's lard and gives it back to you.
Good. I take it and get on my merry way.
Okay. You've collected your shit from the armor, or from the leather worker. Anything else you would like to do within the city itself? In fact, you were discussing, I believe, or you plan to discuss in private in the morning, a little bit about the Stone Tooth or the direction you were hoping to head, Will? With the rest of your party? Your mic's currently muted.
No. Oh, yeah. He is muted. I'll be right back, guys. AFK 1 second. Bio.
Okay. Will, are you there? Bant, are you there?
Pant is here.
Okay. You had mentioned before that you wanted to discuss with your compatriots in a more private setting, not in front of Top.
Yeah. Is the lass asleep?
She's asleep. Yeah, she'll be asleep by the bedside there.
All right. I will leave her and make my way into the large room where everyone else.
Sure.
In my smoking jacket, pipe. And yeah, we needs must discuss what I've learned back at Shimmer Hall. I apologize if I was somewhat cagey in our discussions with the gnome. However, I think it would be in our best interest to keep word of our. I guess I hate to say the word mission. Keep word of our quest to ourselves for the time being. if you think about it, a hidden city full of powerful weapons, there's many who would kill for such information. I would
Quite
not
possibly.
I would not see that encouraged.
I have a rough idea of where it would be.
Yeah, if we have Will pulls out a map he managed to get of not the city, but the spine of the world area. And he puts his finger down on the area where he and the Hammerfer believe the stone tooth might actually be. And then he moves his finger to another spot and says, there's a town here. The town here called Blazingdale, conveniently close to our presumed destination, but I think Blazingdale should be our next port of call after we leave here.
Killy, with this
Probably
map that he has,
gear up for a deeper strike into the mountain.
can I quickly make a line visually in my head that goes from Mirabar and Oakhurst? I believe
Yeah,
is what it was.
you'll have been you're relatively well known, or you would have a pretty good idea of the road that you travel and the path that you travel to get between Oakhurst and Mirabar. And the city of Blasingdale, at Will's explanation, it's not too far north of Mirabar, actually, not just a little bit to the northeast, and it's right on the road to the north. It's one of the newer.
Would it be
mining.
northwest of Oakhurst?
Yes, it would be much farther west than north, but yes.
Okay. Yeah, I will agree that's our best location to head to, based on my understanding of things. Did we want to compare this map with the other map?
We could do that. Will would be willing to do that.
Okay.
He's also.
I'm gonna ask Kent to step far away from the table.
All right.
For
Okay.
his own safety reasons. And then,
Okay.
yeah, just
You pull out the map, you get it to show, you compare it to this map that had been given to the direction of Blasingdale by Will. And as you compare the maps, you do actually begin to see a couple of mountain ranges marked on the map near Blasingdale. And although it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly, you think you might be able to circle down the location of what you might believe to be the Stone Tooth.
perfect. Top of the map. Right here.
Looks like our journey to Mirabar wasn't a total waste. Says Will.
Not at all.
Location of the Stone Tooth and a beautiful redhead. Tell me, what did you all think of my performance this evening? I would seek counsel towards improvement.
I don't
I'm
think
not
there's
one for music.
I don't think there was anything you could have done better about that performance.
Kurt, your praise is
Kent.
well received. Kent, I'm sorry. Your praise is well received. Thank you very much.
Where I come from, we have a different taste in music.
You have taste in music.
I do.
That is surprising.
It is just different. It's a different style.
Music is the universal language, my friend. Spoken in different tongues here and there, but all is one in the heart.
I'm going to reply with, that may be, but in Draconic.
Will will reply, it is in Elvish.
So are you all then beginning to make your way out of town, collect your belongings, and make your way to the mining town of Blasingdale?
Only one piece of business Will has. And we have the ornate ceremonial dagger, along with the 2 silver rings and the silver amulet. It was suggested we may fare a better price haggling in Mirabar for the sale of those. I would like to do that before we. Yeah, unless there's an objection.
Nope, go for
That's
it.
fine.
Very well. So that's the coin of the party coffer. Kelly, how do you want to handle it?
Well, let me ask you this: what kind of merchant do you think you try to sell that stuff to?
The ornate ceremonial dagger I'd like to take down to Breton's Battle Forge.
Okay.
And also to, I guess, see if Tofts is interested.
Okay.
In the ornate dagger.
Okay. Which one would you head to first?
Breton's Battle Forge. It is a dagger.
Okay. You approach Breton's Battle Forge. You meet this dwarven woman. As you discuss the dagger with her, and she notes the jewels surrounding it, she seems kind of intrigued by it, but just judging by the design of it, notes that it doesn't serve a whole lot of practicality, which is the bulk of what she deals in, but she's still willing to offer you maybe around 200 gold for the dagger itself.
200. Can I talk her up? Yo, my lady. Yo, practicality is about battle. It's about actual true fighting. It's how we obtain it. Any weapon should have a good story behind it, and this one does. Pulls out the blade. He goes, notice the finish. Perhaps it would inform a improvement or perhaps an additional style for you to offer here in your store. This dagger could be of greater value to you than simply as a mere token.
Make a persuasion check. And she's not buying it.
Ha! 200 gold.
Okay.
I fear I must take that, for we are parting. So we'll take. All right. So that. One. Okay, and then the amulet and the rings.
She didn't seem interested by those.
No, I wouldn't think she would.
Miles, you're able to sell your bow to her for 50 gold.
Okay.
I'm just gonna leave my old staff in the middle of the street, like near a refuse container, because I'm sure nobody wants a wooden stick.
Yeah.
All right, so the silver amulet and the ring we probably get. The only other store on my list here is the general store, Mandy.
Yep.
So
you're able
to try there.
Okay. The pull up my notes for this real quick. As you approach Mandy's, the general store, the proprietor of the store is a much older woman, perhaps in her late 60s, early 70s, showing her the rings and the amulet itself. She seems comparatively more intrigued by it, and she's willing to offer you 50 gold for all of them.
Not far above what we were quoted previously. I will note. I'll ask her what are your plans for the jewelry? Will you be selling it, keeping it for yourself? If I might be so bold.
It looks rather deary. I'd like to keep it myself.
Yeah, so a woman of your beauty has no need for such decoration. However, he goes, I do think that necklace would look very fetching. And I kind of use my, roguish charm to offer to put it on her and flirt with her a little bit.
Okay, make a persuasion check with advantage.
Crit.
She doubles the price and is willing to offer you 100 gold.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Your generosity is as large as those beautiful that you call
Okay, you exchange both of them. You collect your gold.
That's 100 for all three.
100 for both the rings and the amulet.
Yeah, for all three people.
Yep.
So silver amulet, Mandy's. All right, so I just added 300 gold to our total, and I will note, just as a matter of management, we have a crystal flask with orange liquid yet to be identified. I think that's the only item that we have not.
Correct.
Do we want to? Oh, and the blackish glowing staff. Did we? Or is that the one? No, yeah.
That's Kent's new staff, and Kent, you know the properties of that staff already. You were automatically attuned to it. The rest of you don't know anything about it.
Yep.
All right. Well, then we're not going to spend money on identifying it, since he's aware of. He can tell us anytime.
Right.
At his discretion. But the crystal flask with orange liquid, is it worth 100 gold to determine what that is?
I mean, I'll just drink it and tell you what happened.
Did we try the sip test, Killy?
Not yet.
No, can we? Will you allow it?
Yeah, if you wanted to try.
Any volunteers? Who has the highest constitution?
I can't be poisoned. I'll try it.
Okay.
I'll give it a little sip.
As you give it a little sip, go ahead and make an Arcana check. It's kind of hard to discern exactly what kind of potion it is, but you do feel it feels like you have some sort of resistant effect on you. It's brief, just by sipping it, but it feels resistant in some way.
I'm going to put resistance to question mark.
Resistant.
The perfect potion for the Riddler.
It's
Orange
red at
liquid.
this point, right?
Orange
So it has
liquid.
fire logic.
Resistance to citrus.
Yeah.
says the 8 intelligence.
Maybe we should put your compass on it. Maybe it'll break the compass. Maybe it's compass resistant.
You know what? I'm getting tired of your compass jokes. I scoff and I walk away.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm afraid you'll have to live with those for a while, my friend. We're in that one.
Is there anything else you would like to do within the city, or would you like to begin heading out to this?
Will is good for leaving.
Real fast, how many health potions
Lazy.
do we have left?
2. We have 2 health, two potions of healing, and 2 antitoxins.
I have 1.
I have
who?
10.
Tuck?
Nope, that's pythons. What are pythons?
Pythons are like little railroad sticks, little metallic, like
Pikes.
to pikes. Yeah, to dive in a railroad track or a tent or something.
Tuck, you saying you have a potion of healing?
I do.
I must have missed that. All right, so we have 3 total.
Yeah, I think 1 was given to me at the end of the Citadel,
Very good.
so I'd have 1 on hand.
All right, so we have 3 potions of healing.
Okay.
And 2 antitoxin. We've gotten by with worse.
Okay.
How I missed that gnome cleric.
Poor Erky.
Yeah. A drink to Erky, and then let's call it a night.
Okay. Well, it's early morning right now. It's maybe about 9 o'clock in the morning.
So we're
I
going
still grab a drink.
Okay. You grab your drinks, you take your liquid breakfast, and you begin, presumably, unless you correct me, heading out of the city and begin journeying northwest towards the town of Blasingdale.
Thought it was northeast.
Northwest. Nope, I'm sorry, you're right, northeast. My bad.
Ah.
Okay, so Blasingdale is actually, it's maybe about half a day's journey on foot. It doesn't take you very long to get there. It acts, as you arrive in the area, it is surrounded by, the town itself is surrounded by a wooden fence, and you can't help but notice more than a few guards kind of surrounding the area. And as you enter in, although the town itself is disdained or otherwise designed as a proper town, you can't help but notice it feels or looks and feels perhaps a little bit more like a military barracks almost. More than a few dwarven miners and a couple of human miners walking around back and forth. But as you enter into the town itself, a couple of buildings stand out to you. You see what appears to be a town hall of some kind, and nearby to the town hall appears to be some sort of temple. And also within town, you can also see there is an inn and a tavern, and there is a general store, the sign over which it reads Happy Bob's General Store and Art Emporium.
I'm sorry, did you say temple?
A temple of some kind next to the city, the center of city management.
Are we talking like a religious type temple?
Yo, he
Yes.
just said there's a Happy Bob's here. How can you be interested in the temple?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna head towards the temple.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out Happy Bob's for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm going to Bob's.
Okay. So the rest of you wander into Bob's. The building itself is actually a one-story building. It is very wide, though, and as you enter in, you see there is shelves filled with general goods, including salt, meats, etc. But on the far west wall, you can see lining up the wall are all sorts of paintings, most of which seem to be mountainous scenery, including trees and mountains and a bright blue skies. And as you enter in, you can see a halfling who seems to be wearing some sort of painter's vest, seems to be painting some sort of wonderful little scenery. The gnome itself, or excuse me, the halfling itself has a tuft of curled brownish reddish hair. And as you enter in, he looks at you and goes, "Hello and welcome, and how can I be helping you folks out here today?"
I immediately say, "Are those happy trees you're painting?"
"Why, yes, they are, my friend.
Yes.
Most of the folks around here call me Robert Ross, but I like to think of myself as Happy Bob."
Nice to meet you.
"Nice to meet you, too. I'm just finishing up my happy little painting here."
By all means, continue.
"Browse at your leisure, buddy."
I'm watching paint.
Okay. He is very meticulous, and he seems to almost mutter to himself as he finishes up the painting. It seems to be an interesting snapshot of some sort of hill. And in fact, I'd like you to make a perception check as you watch him paint.
Okay.
Oh, I would love to.
Perception.
Follow us?
Whoever's watching him.
Heaved.
I
Okay.
love to watch another artist at work.
Where are the happy trees? No.
We'll count to 16.
Yeah, very good.
So Kent and Will, you don't specifically notice anything. Stop drawing on these guys, damn it.
It's called It's Inspirational Being with Bob.
Bob made me do it.
I like how he's missing one.
What do I see with my 23 perception?
You see jack shit, you asshole. No.
He deleted it.
You're gonna pay for that
No, no,
later.
no. You will. But as he's painting this, you can't help but notice based on your earlier perception of the topography that made up the magical map, it actually you actually look at this thing and you think that hill looks an awful lot like the hill you saw on the map.
I relay this to the group, and then I ask him, "Hey, have you seen this before in real life?"
I like to wander around the area in order to capture some inspiration for my paintings here. This is a happy little hill I happened to stumble across not too many days ago."
Could you show us where that is on a map, or lead us to that? We would be find this place.
"I most certainly can." And he pulls out a map of the area. It looks to be relatively rough, but he actually manages to pull out a map of the area and point roughly into the direction of the hill in which he's painting. And for the sake of expediency, we can argue then that you all know or have a rough idea of the now exact location of the stone tooth.
Except for me.
Except for you. You've headed over to the shrine.
Yes.
Before we depart, I'd like to say, see, there are no mistakes, just happy accidents.
He gives you the biggest, warmest smile you've ever seen a halfling give, and he says, "I rather like that, my friend. I think I might have to steal that little saying you have there."
It's all yours.
That's what all the ladies say.
Literally.
All right, Roran, as you're heading to the shrine, I'd like you to go ahead and make a religion check.
Oh, I think it's gonna be good. Could be
Okay.
worse.
There's not much about the local religion that you're ultimately familiar with, but you do know enough to know that As you approach the shrine, you see what appears to be a gigantic dwarf sitting on a throne, and you know enough to know that this is the dwarven god, sometimes called the All-Father, known as Moradin.
Mm-hmm.
And as you approach into this shrine, you see a woman, a human, dressed in acolyte's robes, and she seems to be burning incense at a nearby altar, and carrying within her hand are metal tongs of some kind. And as you enter in, she looks up at you and goes, "Can I help you at all?"
I'm from out of town, and I'm trying to learn more about the religion of this area.
She smiles and says, "Most of the folks around here pray to the All-Father Moradin. He is thought to be the creator of the dwarves, and is thought to bring blessings to those who seek to delve into this world's deepest parts."
I don't want to upset you with this question, but is there any human gods, angels, per se, that
Angels?
anyone worships around here?
Angels themselves are servants of the gods, or servants of some ideal that the gods themselves uphold.
Mm-hmm.
There are more than a few human gods. I would not be entirely surprised that at least a few of the folks here would otherwise worship.
And when it comes to angels, do you know much about them?
Angels are sentient creatures that follow their own designs, whether that be the designs of those they claim to follow, or whether it be those of their own free will.
And do they ever make themselves known to, I guess, the lesser folk?
She giggles a bit and says, "There are all sorts of stories of celestials that hide among us mere mortals. But most of that is merely legend."
All right, thank you.
My pleasure.
And I guess I kind of bow or whatever
Okay.
towards
She
and then leave.
Okay, you show the proper respect, and she notes it and bows back and smiles and returns to her duties. Are you rejoining your friends then at Happy Bob's?
Yeah, I'll be heading back that way.
Okay. The rest of you are more or less enjoying this conversation with Happy Bob as he shows you the location of what you all believe to be the stone tooth. Is there anything else you would like to do while you're here with Happy Bob? Happy Robert Ross?
Guess stock up on whatever we need. Is there anything we need?
Well,
Can I point at his painting and tell him that he made a little mistake right there?
There are no mistakes, my friend. Just happy little accidents.
I shoot Bob a knowing look.
He smiles back and winks.
Well, real quick.
And as this discussion is going on, he adds, "Now I might warn you, fellows, that as you wander out in the area, that there are a number of orc raids that have been taking place, and I do believe that there is a bounty out for orc ears."
How much per orc ear?
25 gold pieces per pair,
Who do we
pair.
turn them into?
dead or alive, if you can bring any back alive.
Do we get bonuses if we bring them back alive?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh, well,
As far as I can tell,
cares?
the local government just wants them gone, one way or the other.
Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye out for that, Bob. And real fast, out of character and whatnot, is there anything you guys think we need that this guy might have in a general store? I mean,
I need another 1,000 ball bearings.
I would like 10,000 marbles, please.
I already got that covered. Don't worry.
well, I've
I
already
seem
got.
to have lost all of mine.
I've got a length of rope. Garen has a length of rope. I have what's in my backpack as far as torches and stuff like that. I have rations. And
I have
then
rope, rations, and torches.
yeah.
All right, so we think we're pretty much set. Do we? What time of day is it, Kelly?
Oh, does he have lockpicks? That's an odd question to ask a storekeeper.
Kind of.
Are you asking the shopkeeper if he has lockpicks?
Yeah.
No, that's the punk kids hanging out behind the store.
No. I'm gonna ask the shopkeeper.
He says, I think we might have a few. How much are you hoping to get, friend?
I don't know because my DM apparently likes to but the 10.
The 10 lockpicks will cost you about 2 gold pieces, friend.
2 gold pieces. I'm not planning on doing anything mischievous with them. Do you think you could lower the price a bit here? I just think that we're planning to help out with the orc-related issues around town.
Make a persuasion check. He smiles and says, I'm afraid I do have a business to maintain here, my friend, and this art doesn't sell itself, unfortunately, as well as I might hope it otherwise would.
That's fair. I'll take 5 off your hand for 1 gold.
Certainly.
Perfect.
Before we leave, I'd like to suggest to him that there's a way he can make money with his art. He can paint 3 pictures of each individual scene, and then he can sell one, keep one, and market one for later sale.
I'll keep that in mind.
You could also make yourself a show, a play, one might say, where you could teach other people how to paint.
Do we?
He looks back at the idea and says, I like the way you think, friend.
Do we need anything for possible camping out on a mountainside?
Hold on.
We have bow and arrow. We can hunt. They can shelter, sleep.
Uh,
I guess if we have rope, we can make a shelter.
I've got tinder. I've got torches. I've got a bedroll.
I got a bedroll. Yeah, I got a bedroll.
Backpack.
I don't have a bedroll. Strange. Probably.
I thought that
should
when
get
you
that.
I thought that when you slept, you sort of slept like a giraffe standing up. But instead of the feet, I thought you just leaned up on your tripod and you were fine. That's why you didn't need a bedroll.
I balance on my cock.
If you did want to buy a bedroll is 1 gold.
It's what, sir?
1 gold piece.
Even like a carpet of sorts, so I can just sit and meditate because I don't really sleep.
Carpet would be harder to carry. Granted, you could put it in the bag of holding, but it would probably
Yes.
cost more.
So, well, a bedroll, something I can roll up that looks like a carpet, I guess. Not something that big. Just needs to fit my legs in.
A typical carpet would probably cost more because it's used more for decoration.
Bedroll it is then.
Okay.
I will ask him if he has a bedroll for sale.
Last said, and he sells it to you for 1 gold if you're going to take it.
Awesome.
I'm also going to buy one of those off him.
What's that?
So I'm also going to buy a bedroll off him.
Sure.
Yeah,
Also a gold piece.
Yeah.
Demand is skyrocketing. 4 gold.
I stab him in the face.
What?
Sorry, I hold my compass up to him.
Keep that business outside, friend, if you wouldn't mind.
All right. So that's it, right? That's all we need.
We Gucci.
Okay. You gather yourselves. You begin to make your way out to the location that has been shown of the stone tooth, and as you begin to look at the map and get a view of your surroundings, the area around you is deeply forested in what appears to be pine trees, and you travel north outside of Blasingdale. From where you are now, you eventually begin to catch sight of a tall, steep hill that rises to a prominent bare knob of rock, which you easily believe to be the Stone Tooth. From a distance, you can see a thin spire of smoke rising from some unseen point high onto the hill's slopes, and you think you can make out the old remains of a steep, narrow road that runs along the face of the mountain. And you currently think that you're on it right now.
Oh, good. Stay on it.
You stay on the road?
Yeah. We're going to follow it to where it ends there. Assuming there's something there.
Okay.
Perception
All
check.
right. Perception check. Go ahead.
Hold on.
Okay.
Everyone? Or just him?
Just him if he's calling it out.
Okay.
What are you actually trying to perceive, I suppose I should ask?
We're being followed. Other people on the trail. Things like that.
You don't have any reason to believe you're being followed. However, you do see tracks on the trail.
What type of tracks?
Make a survival check. You don't know.
I
They're
point them out. There's
they're human-
tracks here, guys.
They're humanoid and they're bipedal.
I'm pretty good at tracking stuff as a ranger. Can I take a
Sure.
look at those?
Sure. Go ahead and make your survival check. Those are orc tracks. And more than one.
My pocket is a little light these days. I'm a-okay with hunting some orcs.
They travel in single file to hide their numbers.
If our goal is to counter orcs, I suggest we stay on the road. Knowing them, they're probably waylaying travelers.
I actually agree with that. And if we don't encounter them, we can deal with them later.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll be looking for prey on the road.
Okay.
Let's give them a target.
As part of your tracking, Kurt, you think you can make out maybe a party of 4 that has wandered back and forth around this area.
Guys, it looks like there's 4, and we could definitely take them.
I could take them all on my own.
Probably.
Footprints that they're bitches, so.
Okay. So are you guys following this road all the way to its end?
That's the plan.
All right. Now, let me move you to the next map and give me just a minute to reveal the correct location as well as to drag character tokens in place.
Did he just say 2 dragons?
No.
He's dragging eyes.
Give him ideas, damn it.
Whoops.
The one dragon encounter I ever did in D&D, we won by shooting a rock that was above him, and it collapsed on his head, and he died.
Well, we killed a dragon twice. God damn
Well,
it.
I don't trust you guys, so...
Killed it twice. Say, need any more proof?
Oh, hey, Badness, how you doing?
Okay.
You're so cute.
I bet he is.
She
All
is
right.
cute.
Okay, so you follow the path, and it climbs up one last steep switchback towards this bare shoulder of rock. The hillside rises steeply on your right, and then drops away pretty steeply rather on your left. There are debris and rubble scattered around here for the last maybe 100 yards or so as you wander up the road. You can see some discarded water skins. There are bits of what looks to be charred bone, as well as a couple of splintered casks or kegs. And up ahead, the path begins to open into a wide ledge and then doubles back sharply into the mountainside.
Okay.
Narrow. That's a steep drop off to the right there.
To the left, the right rises up above you.
Okay.
Look to my right, not to hell.
The right is the hill itself rising up above you. The left is a steep drop off.
Okay. Garen, remember what happened the last time I went first?
Mm-hmm.
Your rangerness. Hey, I'm like the woodland scout.
You're Kurt going first. Can I sneak past these bastards here?
You can move forward if you wish.
I will move forward and
Okay.
test the path as I move forward to make sure it's not going to fall away.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Yep. Hang on.
Okay. The area here is narrow, but it seems to be well traveled. There's nothing along that immediately seems to give you any sort of reason to believe that you're at any immediate risk of any sort of traps per se. The worst risk you have is you would ever have is if you would happen to slip and fall off to the left. But the road here seems sturdy enough that if you just kind of stay to the right, you don't think that will happen.
I'm going to keep moving forward, inching forward slowly
Okay.
along the path.
I'm
Against the wall.
following.
Okay.
I'll follow.
Kurt, did you have something to add?
Is this considered difficult terrain? That's all I was going to add, but I don't think it is. So we
No,
should be fine.
it's steep, but it's a well carved road, so it's not difficult terrain.
Think the path to Shelob's lair in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Slowly.
You're all moving up. Don't forget your snake there.
He never forgets that snake.
Okay. Now, Tuck, as you get to about there and peer to the ledge in front of you, you notice, not looking in your direction, are two orcs in hide armor. They're standing watch. They're kind of looking off towards the left. They're not looking off down towards you. And you also see as the path kind of curves around a bit to the curves back around on itself, leading up further into the hill, perhaps up some stone steps.
Okay.
And
If it makes it easier for you, Kelly, there is a polygon reveal.
yeah, it just takes forever to do that. They'll do that where it warrants it.
Do I notice these as well?
At this point, all of you can see this, even without, all of you can see these two orcs.
So I'm gonna quietly tap Friar Tuck and kind of point towards my dagger.
I would agree. I will follow his lead.
All right,
There's 4 of them, so we don't know where the other 2 are. As you sneak up, they might see you.
that's understandable. I'm gonna make a stealth check and try and make it up to there, or
Sure.
I guess here.
Okay.
I ready my bow.
You can make it up to here probably without needing a stealth check. These guys are kind of just talking to them amongst themselves.
Okay,
I'm going to walk up just behind him.
I'm gonna peer around the corner there real quick and see if I can see any further around the corner.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check. Okay. A couple of things. You notice that the path continues to curve up to the left into what you think might appear to be some sort of large double doors. Furthermore, peering into the rock along the mountainside, you think you see what appears to be maybe some arrow slits.
Okay. And are they like looking over a ledge?
These two orcs right now are kind of looking.
They'd be looking up the mountain, wouldn't they?
They're looking off in this direction, maybe up in this direction. Not really looking in your direction. They're kind of talking to one another.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and then stealth check over to like here. I guess try and get over there.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check. Okay. Quiet. Well, you know what? They have to make a perception check now that I think about this. Or actually, I guess I gotta check their passive perception. Yeah, you're able to sneak over there.
Perfect. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I guess kind of gesture towards Friar Tuck and ask if he's gonna give you the A-OK for good old sneak attack.
I would say so. I'm going to ready myself to basically run up there and follow up his attack.
I have an arrow
Okay.
knocked.
Okay.
All right.
If that's what you're all gonna do, if you're gonna ready attacks, Tuck and Kurt, I would need you to make a stealth check, but you can make it with advantage if you wish. Since you're staying far enough back. Okay. The both of you succeed in your stealth. As you ready your weapons, these guys don't notice you.
Okay.
Kenton-
So yeah, I have dagger in one hand and rapier in the other.
Okay.
Offhand dagger.
Offhand dagger. All right.
Yeah.
Kent and Will, are you doing anything while this is going on?
I'm waiting for the action to start.
Yeah, same. I'm observing.
Okay. So since you guys succeeded on your stealth checks, you're allowed to make a free attack. So Roran, why don't you go ahead and make your attack first?
All right. So rapier main hand.
Okay. Which one are you attacking?
The one that's closest to me.
Actually, don't you have to be 5 foot? You gotta be in the square next to him, don't you?
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, 11's not going to be enough to hit.
Okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead and swing with my offhand dagger.
All right. The 14 will hit.
Okay, that's only 1 damage though. But then I also add sneak attack.
Okay. Jeez. All right, so that's 12 points of damage total.
Yep.
Okay. That'll be his surprise round. Tuck.
How's that orc looking?
The one that he managed to cut in with his dagger looks like it's almost dead.
Okay, I'm going to run up and hit his orc with my staff one-handed.
All right.
Let me see.
Okay. Yeah, that'll hit. Yeah, so it's going to be 8. All right, so you managed to clock this thing over with the staff and it falls down.
I will then follow up with a flurry of blows on the one in front of me.
All right.
By using one key.
Okay. I think you might still have advantage check there.
Yeah, I still do. I turned it off.
Okay. The 10's not going to hit, the 21 will. So you hit the remaining orc who takes the hit, but he's still standing.
I will, since I hit him with flurry of blows, try and push him back 15 feet. He needs to do a strength saving throw.
All right. 21.
Yeah, that saves.
All right. And Kurt, you have a surprise action, so go ahead and take your surprise action. Yes. And he hasn't acted this round, so I guess you get advantage on the attack, right? So if you wanted to roll again, just see if you get in that 20 or something.
Two.
Okay, no. So he'll take the 6 points of damage. But this one remaining orc is still standing, and he's still aware of you. So go ahead and roll initiative, everybody.
I think.
I forgot to click on myself again. God damn it!
We saw 23 there, though, but...
Yeah, I know. I still keep forgetting to click on myself.
Okay. Will, you see all this take place. You see this last remaining orc doesn't quite go down. He's looking panicked. He's very well aware of where you are at this point.
Yeah, I move up a little bit to there and I say, "Your mom is so old. Your mom is so ugly. She made an onion cry."
All right.
Oh,
We'll save.
Yeah, that's like the most useless cantrip ever.
And you were complaining about Sacred Flame earlier.
Is it Vicious Mockery?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
everyone always has like a wisdom spike every time I use it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one though overall.
When it works.
Great.
Yeah.
When it works, it's great. I just spread disadvantage across the field.
You just need extra wisdom to increase your DC there. All right. Are you doing anything else for your movement?
No, I'm good where I am.
All right. Warren, you're up next. This last remaining orc stays.
And he's looking pretty
He's looking pretty beat.
pretty beat. Alright, yeah, so I'm gonna just go ahead and step over the body.
Mhm.
I'm gonna hit him with a good old rapier. Nope. Dagger then.
All right. This thing manages to pull out its hide shield and block your rapier and begins to grunt out as if to try to get out some sort of cry, but before it does, your dagger sinks deep into its throat, silencing it before it gets the chance. Both of these orcs are down and you're, for the time being, out of combat.
I'm going to instantly lean down and cut off their ears and stuff them into my pocket.
All right. You got 2 pairs of orc ears.
Awesome. Well, do you want to keep
I'm
that
going
back
to
down?
search their body.
Okay, make a perception check. The orcs themselves are wearing what appears to be crude hide armor, and one of them has a shield and a crude sort of scimitar, and the other one has a great axe, and as well as a couple of javelins, a total of 2 javelins in particular. But as far as material wealth goes, it doesn't look like they're carrying gold or anything of the sort.
I quickly run over here and say, "Stop! There's a trap back there by the stairs."
Oh, thanks for the heads up. Can you
No
disable
problem.
it? I hear you're pretty good at that.
Possibly. I'll let you guys figure that stuff out. So just decided to do that.
As you shout that,
No, I
Make a
didn't.
perception.
I didn't shout it. I ran up next to him and told him to stop.
make a perception
Uh-huh.
check.
That's fine.
You hear the sound of voices that sound deep and concerned.
Uh-huh. I suggest that we kind of give both of them the nudge and point over in this direction,
Is that where the voices are coming from?
and then
No, it sounds like it's coming from on the other side of
then-
the wall.
just give a point up this way again, and just kind of like we should step back for a minute.
Are you done looking at these bodies?
I am.
I grab this one and just shove it over the wall.
Nobody wants some javelins?
Well, we have to make it to you to get to the javelins.
Well, I can grab them if you need them. I
I
don't
would-
think they sell for much, do they?
I would grab the great axe and I would grab the scimitar.
Yeah, no, I've got the shield, scimitar, great axe, and 2 javelins.
Okay. I grab
Yes,
them and bring them to you. And then
I grab this other body and throw it as.
All right.
And then. I guess.
Okay. As you duck around and hide behind the corner, you see another orc begin to wander its way down these steps. It gets to about here, peers around, and it calls out a name in Orcish. It sounds as if it's calling out Orc
you'll-
and Thark.
If you'll allow it, I'd like to cast minor image or minor illusion.
Mhm.
And make a sound.
Okay, what sound are you making? Okay. This thing looks into the wall here and kind of calls something out. And as you're kind of watching from around the corner, you can't help but notice a pair of eyes peering out with a bow from here and one here, and this one carrying a bow as well. He seems to be wandering over in this direction, and as he does, he sees all of you. So go ahead.
Will looks at him and makes like the claw gestures and goes, rah,
So go ahead and roll initiative again.
click on the shelf.
I did it. It's my first time, guys. Are you proud of me?
I've never had so much fun playing a character so inept at combat.
Hey, that's not fair, Buggy. You did hit something once.
Yeah, once. It's like, hey man, don't feel bad. You moved a bus once. No Mystery Men fans here.
Don't forget to roll for your snake there, Kurt.
You did.
Oh, you did?
That's what
Okay.
the 13 was.
Yeah. No, I think that's the 21.
Yeah, that's the 21.
Oh.
I get advantage on initiative, so I have to roll.
Jafar, snick.
Oh, do you really?
Nick. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, revised ranger. Okay, your snick goes first.
I send a snake in, see? Give him the bites.
Okay.
14
The 14 will hit. So Jafar bites deep into this thing. It roars out in fury and pain.
Hey, look, your poison damage actually works.
I'll have him come back because he has enough movement for that. All right.
All right. Will, you're up next.
Your mother's so fat she brought a spoon to the Super Bowl.
That one took a minute, but it was nice.
Yes, it's subtle. It's British humor.
Okay.
Humor.
That
Hey,
works.
I fucking works. Yay.
Okay. This thing looks kind of worn and about to ready to fall over, but otherwise is looking really pissed off. Kurt, you're up next.
With my dragon bow!
Oh, Jesus.
Your arrow finds its mark, and this orc goes down. Anything else you would like to do with your movement? You're not out of combat.
If I can get by these people.
Hang on.
Yeah.
I would. So, what kind of view do they have from those?
Murder holes?
Yeah,
You
the
don't know.
murder holes.
No, I'm the only one who knows about them. I thought they were traps at the time.
Told me
Yeah.
that they exist.
So, Princess, do some sort of check on that to see what the range is or what the angle is.
Alright.
As he's walking by me, can I kind of stop and point towards the holes?
At this point, I think
Yeah,
they're just
you-
trap holes, so I don't think someone can see me and shoot me through them. So I'm just gonna
You've been made aware of the holes at this point.
At this point, I don't know that you need to be quiet because, they know we're here.
Yep. Where are the holes again? Sorry, I
That's
can't.
fair.
the right of the
There.
stairs on the screen.
And right there. Oop, there.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. So technically, if I were to move here against the wall, they could not see me because I'm literally against the wall.
Probably.
Probably.
Those are always my favorite TM answers.
Fucking GM answer if I've ever heard one.
Will's
Kurt, you're
gonna
done with
make-
your movement.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
All right. Peering
Oh.
out from these arrow slits with bows are a couple of orcs, and one of them is going to angle a shot at Rorn, and one of them is going to angle a shot at Kurt.
Good luck.
I mean,
The one against Rorn is not going to hit with that 8.
nope.
The one against Kurt is going to crit.
Good luck!
All right, this arrow sinks deep into your armor, and you reel back in frustrating pain.
Sure
Tuck,
do.
you're up next.
How big are those holes? Can I fit a hand through them?
Probably.
How about a staff?
Most certainly.
So-
how about my... No.
Yeah.
The dick's not going to work. It's too big.
Fuck.
Killing me.
Okay. So I'm going to go right here,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to hit this motherfucker with my staff.
Okay. Go ahead.
Would two-handed work here? Because I'd push it in the hole with two hands, smack him in the forehead.
Sure. I'll buy it.
And- Fuck is my? There it is.
You know what generally doesn't happen?
No. Yeah, you hit this thing.
Okay.
You think it may have blinded one of his eyes.
Nice.
It's something
So
you're
I'm-
used to doing.
It is. And right after that, I'm going to tuck myself against the wall here.
Okay. And you do not trigger an attack of opportunity because of the distance, believe it or not. Kent, you're up next.
I'm gonna put myself out here. Can I see the bottom orc?
Yeah.
Alright, I will cast Frostbite at him.
All right. Whoops. He succeeds in the throw. You try to get the frost around it, but it doesn't seem like it quite connects.
Alright, well, with my remaining 25 feet, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go to here.
Okay. Rowan, you're up next.
How tall are these holes?
The what is it? The
Can I
arrow
crouch
slits.
under them?
What's that? Crouch
Can I
under?
crouch? Yes.
No. They're too small. They're just large enough that someone could angle a bow outside of them and shoot at an angle. They're not so large that somebody could crawl through them, unless
That's
you're
fair.
maybe about a few inches wide, which you're not.
No, I don't want to crawl through them. I want to crawl under,
No,
under the hole so that they can't see me.
no. It's hard rock under the holes.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. Well, they'd still be able to angle down and shoot directly on top of you.
yeah, that's fair. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and dash as my bonus action.
All right.
That's 15. It's 35. Yeah, I'm gonna make it down to here.
Okay. As you do, you get a better view. You do see another arrow slit further down, and the stairs continue down and curve around.
Okay. Arrow slit, and I can't see into it.
You can peer into it right now. It doesn't appear that anything's there.
That's 1, 2, 3. I shout back up. I thought you said 4. And then I'm gonna go ahead and. Am I out of? If I go here, am I out of view? Of these guys?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna go there, and I'm gonna hold for an attack.
Okay. As you get down there, by the way, you do see the stairs begin to curve up, and from where you are, you do see one other arrow slit down here.
Okay.
This is a mountain of death.
Jafar.
Can he fit through the slit?
No. Well, you know what? Yeah, he probably could actually. Come to think of it,
If a
He's
quarterstaff can.
he would have to kind of slither through it. We'll say it takes half movement to crawl through it.
Okay. Half of all of his movement? He has 60 movement.
It would moving through the slit would cost him 10 feet of movement instead of 5, because the wingspan would make it a little bit more difficult to get in there. He'd have to slither through.
So that'll take him 40 to get in. Well, no, I guess 40 to get like here. I don't know.
Yeah.
35.
He'd have 20 to get away.
Using the peel of the snake, you can get right up next to this thing. You get something of an idea as to the inner chamber here.
Okay.
And peering inside, you do see there's through their snake's eye, so to speak. There's a set of stairs leading in that direction, and a hallway leading to the north in here, and another arrow slit close to the south. But yeah, you're gonna go ahead and make that bite attack. Unfortunately, 12 is not gonna hit. This guy manages to raise his bow and block the snake before its bite gets out.
Where to go? Where to go?
Well, if you're trying to go back out the slit, don't you take a half? Is he going to be able to get back out?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I guess I'll just run away this way.
Okay.
Just as long as he's not within range of me. How long was that? 15.
Okay. All right. You can finalize that movement at your discretion there. If that's not where you want to have it. Will, you're up next.
Will's going to use all of his movement to get to there, flatten himself. The rock face,
Oh my
so as to not present a target.
And
And
I
then
tell
he's-
Will real quick that there's more arrow slits down the hall.
Yeah, no, I know, but I if I'm flat against the rock,
No, I'm just letting you know.
I'm also going to cast Minor Illusion as my action to
Mhm.
make that huge mountain bear with orc blood dripping from his mouth come around the corner and appear to hang around sniffing body and looking mean.
Okay.
Give it another target.
Okay. The if you create an image, the image can't create sound, light, smell, or any other sensory effect.
No,
So
but
you
it
can
can
you
be an
create the
of a
image.
bear.
You can create the image of a bloody bear, certainly.
Yeah. I want to give him something like threatening to shoot at other than my friends.
Sure.
I
All right.
already did the sound. Now
Okay.
I'm doing the
Sure.
walking around the corner
Sure.
into their field of vision.
Okay.
But I need to move in order to attack this guy.
From where you are, you think you might be able to angle an arrow in there if you
From
really
where I'm
tried.
at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe down a couple of feet. No more than 10, though.
Perfect. So I'll go down 10 feet here. And
Yeah.
then I'll but I'm going to use the charge of the cold damage.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that'll absolutely hit. And that as the cold, you watch as your arrow manages to find its mark, this thing kind of screams out in something of a terror, and it covers it in cold damage. And through your snake, you could you hear something of a satisfactory chirp, and this orc seems like it must have died.
Nice. I'm going to continue walking south so that I don't get hit by this guy.
Okay. All of you hear from the other side of the wall what sounds like a blaring horn. I can't do it, but some sort of blaring horn as if to sound intruders.
Yay.
And you watch 20, 30. As this thing darts around the corner. Also, firing from over here in this arrow slit is going to be an arrow towards Rorn.
I can reach you from that slit? The wall in the way?
Nope, apparently not. You would get half. You're about half cover with that.
Okay. That's
So.
fair.
From which arrow slit?
Wait,
The south one. All right, Tuck, you're up next.
I am going to move here, kind of tucking against the wall,
All right.
while looking in the slit to see if I can see anything inside.
Peering inside, you can see this hallway moving towards the west that seems to curve around to the south.
Okay.
All right. Kent, you're up next.
Yeah, hold on. These are humanoids, correct?
Orcs are humanoids.
Hold on. Let me just see something real quick. Would it be fair to say if I get around this corner, like around to here or however far I can... Wait, hold on. I gotta go 30 feet. So let's see something real fast.
It's 30.
That's 30. Can I make out the orc from there?
From here?
Yeah.
I'm going to say no,
Okay, then I'm just going to move to.
especially because it's uphill.
Yeah, I'm just going to move to here.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right. Roran, you're up next.
You know, I don't like being the tank.
Well, somebody shouldn't have dashed around the fucking corner, should you have?
Oh, fuck.
Take it, take.
The somewhat tank's right behind you, so
Yeah, and you know the somewhat tank is somewhat behind me, but you know, I'm here. Can I delay my turn?
Can you just end your turn? Is that what you said?
No, delay.
Delay.
If you're
Yes.
ready in action.
If you're ready in action as part of a singular round, you're at the bottom of the initiative order, so you're ready if you're ready in action, you'll lose the ready in action because you're at the end of the initiative order.
That's
If you're gonna take an action, take an action.
You can take a dodge action.
You can take a dodge action or a hide action.
I'm gonna dash over to here.
Okay.
As my bonus action.
Uh-huh.
Do I see anything as I run by?
Well, peering up, you do get a glance at
15 orders.
no. But you do get a pair at shallow steps that lead up into a fissured into a broad entranceway, the doors of which have been carved out of stone. And glancing inside, you can also see what appears to be some kind of rope bridge over some sort of fissure.
Okay, and then can I take a hide action? Because my dash is a bonus.
Yeah, so you can take a hide as your standard action.
Yeah. Yes, I'm going to do that.
Okay, make a stealth check. Okay. Yeah, you managed to hide in the shadows of this place, and you're, for the time being, successfully in stealth. All right, Jafar is up next.
I'm going to move up to that corner there.
Right here.
Right. Is that
okay?
Is anyone around this corner here?
Stone.
Oh fuck! All right.
How did they get through?
How did the orc go? No.
How
Come on, guys. No metagaming.
All right. I guess I'll move him back over to here and end his turn so he can't get shot by an arrow.
All right. Will, you're up next.
Okay. Going to. Hold on. Does Will know that there's someone shooting arrows from here yet?
Oh yeah, he would have seen the shot taken at
yeah.
Warren.
All right, so hold on. Going to, all right, so I'm going to try to just advance 6 here.
Sure.
To 30 feet, I believe.
All right.
I'm actually going to take a dash action.
All right.
20, 25, 30 to here, and again, pressed up against the wall.
Okay.
To try not to present target.
Okay. Kurt, you're up next.
I'm gonna move to like right here and try to shoot that guy.
He's up the steps. You would need to get much further up the steps in order to get a shot up at him.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't see him from there unless your ranger eyes can see further.
Look with your special eyes.
The steps here climb up. It is about 30 feet straight up almost.
if I'm up on the next landing. If I get up to here, do you think I have sight?
You probably have to get
Someone
to at
down
least
here,
the bottom
right?
of the next set of steps.
Hmm.
Like that over here.
I mean,
I know
I got
that if
shot
I
at.
can't shoot him, he can't shoot me.
I got shot at from here.
Yep.
To be fair.
I'm good then.
Okay. Will you hear the sound?
My action, I guess. I'll use my action to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay, sure.
Hey,
All right,
nice.
you get 10 hit points back.
Nice.
Okay. Will you hear the sound of this orcish beast creature shuffling around the area behind this wall?
Okay. Will you give me a peek into the arrow slit?
You can take a peek as a reaction, but all you see is this thing kind of retreating off to the east somewhere.
Okay, very good.
But you do watch as an orc injured is behind this door, and it sounds like he's trying to push the door inward as if to close it.
Okay.
Tuck, you're up next.
As a reaction, will call out, "Make haste!"
This guy disappeared? He's gone?
As far as you know,
going
he's not in that arrow slit anymore.
Will,
If
Will
I
is called
go-
out. Hurry.
If I go here, hang on. If I go here, can I see said orc?
You could probably watch. You can't see the orc, but you can see the door starting to get pushed in. You kind of this is a pretty large door, and he's kind of hiding behind it.
If I hit the door with my staff, will that have any effect, I wonder?
You could try.
I will try. So I should be able to get to here with my movement from there. If I measured correctly, this is 10.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Yep.
Yeah. At which point I will attempt to throw my staff at the edge of the door to kind of jar him or give him a little wake-up call.
Sure. Go ahead and make an attack roll. Your staff rings against the door with a soft dong, and it doesn't seem like it really has any effect in this large stone door.
And I bring the staff back to me.
You have the staff. All right, Kent, you're up next.
I'm moving to here.
Mm-hmm.
And as a dash isn't going to get me anywhere near that door, and there's nothing I can really do, I'm going to stay here.
All right, run.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and dash up to here. Am I able to attack him from there?
Let me see. You were there. That's 5,
I guess
10,
6
15,
feet.
20, 25, 30. It's 30 feet there.
Yeah, I'm dashing.
Okay. You're using your
Where's
cunning action to dash, I assume?
Yeah.
Are you going to try to make your way inside, or are you just standing just outside the doors?
Can
there?
I hit him from here?
Yeah, probably.
Uh,
He's just pushing into the door, trying to finish pushing in the door.
I mean, if I booty scooch in one more, I can definitely hit him.
If you booty scooch in one more, you can definitely hit him, and you can also get a much better view of the area.
Yeah, I'm gonna booty scooch in.
including
And...
another orc to your south.
Yeah, that's fine. He's not in range of me right now, so I don't care. So I'm gonna swing at him with my main hand.
Before you do, I'm just going to give you a much better look at the area here. You see this large rope bridge that crosses this big wide cavern, and as you look across the cavern, there is another set of double doors guarded by 2 more orcs armed with javelins.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
My statement stands. I still swing at said orc.
All right, go for it.
I did.
Oh, you did. Okay,
Yes.
12's not going to hit.
That's fine. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just booty scooch away.
Okay. It's still going to try to. You know what? I think it can't because it doesn't have that right weapon. So
It
yeah,
doesn't matter. It can't anyways. Fancy footwork.
doesn't work if you don't land the attack.
It does.
Let's link that ability for me. If you make a melee attack against a creature, that creature can't make opportunity attacks against you for the rest of the turn. Okay, I guess it doesn't have to work
I
then.
think he just made the attack, yeah.
Yeah, made the attack. It doesn't have to
Okay.
hit. So.
Okay.
The
All
key
right.
into the spell is learn how to land a strike and then slip away, so I don't know. Or do I?
And also, as I run back in, I show 2 more orcs across the bridge.
Okay. Jafar's turn.
I can make it to here with 40 feet of movement.
Okay.
Back him, or Jafar is, through the door there.
Okay. He's
Try to bite him around
from
it.
the. Okay. All right. Go for it.
What'd I do?
Yeah, that'll hit. At this point, the door is almost completely closed off, but Jafar does manage to get the bite off, and this orc succumbs to the poison and goes down.
Jafar will retreat. Alright. Oh, that's what? Another 10, I think.
Yeah, I think you're
so
right.
I'll just go all the way back. There you go.
All right, Kurt, your turn.
I guess I'll prepare for an attack.
From there?
Sprint. I'm gonna sprint the 30. That's another 20. So I'll come to here.
Okay.
Team.
Bill, you're up
Howdy,
next.
guys.
Okay. Will is going to move. $30.
All right, you managed to sneak your way inside, even though the store is closed, stepping over the body of the orc armed with a longbow.
And this orc here?
Mhm.
Is he paying attention to me?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. Your mom is so fat she stepped on a scale and it said to be continued.
Oh, please let him roll.
Okay. He's going to roll that with disadvantage because that was a pretty good burn. Yeah, that'll hit.
All right. 4 points and disadvantage.
All right. This thing looks pretty insulted about what you said about its mom. It does not appreciate your mama jokes.
Pigs are as smart as stuff.
Okay. All right, this guy with a longbow is going to move 20, 30, and run as hard as he can across the bridge.
No.
The 2 other orcs on the other side of the bridge are going to move forward. And they're going to try to chuck javelins at you. That first one's going to miss, and that second one's going to miss. They're not able to quite find the distance, and you manage to dodge the javelin throws of both of these orcs.
Where do they land?
In the crevice below.
Okay.
Tuck, you're up next.
Okay.
So this door's closed now, is that what you said?
One of them's almost completely closed. The one on the right is still open.
Never mind.
They didn't manage to close the doors before you got there in time. If they did, you would have been in a lot of trouble.
You mean
Because we turn around and go home.
You mean surrounded by murder holes and no way to kill the enemy? I can't see why that would be a problem.
Pretty much.
I'm going to move to here.
Okay. As you move across the bridge, I would like you to make... an acrobatics check. Okay.
Go.
You successfully move across the bridge, even though these orcs are actively firing javelins in that direction.
I will throw my staff at Dingledorf right in front of me there. Not the one that was already hit, the one in front of him, because I can't reach the other one.
All right, that one.
This one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Quick question: how do you ping?
You have the
Click
select
and
tool,
hold.
and then you just click and hold.
Ah.
Okay.
Oh,
Your staff does not quite manage to hit this thing. It pings against the rock, almost or causing bits of rocky debris to kind of pelt both of the orcs there in the shoulder. And I assume you just caused this thing to return back to your hand.
Of course I do. And I use it to keep balance.
Okay. Kent, you're up next.
I would like to. I'm going to run up to where Roaring is and just kind of push him aside a little bit, if that's okay.
Whoa! Watch the hair.
Don't worry about it. And I would like. Can I see the furthest orc? That one? Or the
Yeah, you
closest
could
orc?
probably see the orcs even from this distance, peering inside.
All right, I will cast Firebolt at him.
There's sufficient light in this chamber. Okay. Yeah, the 16 will hit. Your flame finds its mark and kind of bursts into this thing as it roars in anger and fury. Roaring, you're up next. I'm sorry, were you doing something else?
No, that's it. I don't have any
Okay.
bonus actions or anything, so.
I'm gonna quickly turn around and ask, where'd the other one go from over here?
Who are you asking?
He's dead right there.
Who are you asking?
I am asking snake guy behind me.
On the ground.
This is me
My
trying to not
snake
be.
killed him.
This is me trying to not be meta.
See the X? He's dead.
I get that, but I'm trying to not be meta, and realize that there might be a passage over here.
Oh, I see what you're saying. My
Yeah.
snake saw him disappear, and he is dead on the ground. The
Are you
snake
sure
tracked
that's
him
the same
down.
one?
Snake does not lie.
I'm gonna run up over to Will, next to Will.
There's a Who's on First reference in there somewhere.
I'm gonna run up next to Will and say, "Be careful. There's secret passages around. I assume for them to slip in and out of the murder hole.
Teleportation spells.
Slip in and out of things." And I'm gonna just go ahead and run back and duck behind the door. I don't have range attacks.
Deer hooves. In Central Park, you think horses, not zebras. You're right. It's probably just a secret door.
Anyways, I'm hiding behind the slightly closed door.
Okay.
That's my turn.
All right.
I guess it would be
Jafar.
closer. But yeah.
All right, Jafar's up next.
Limitations, and he's just gonna hide behind this wall. And that's his turn. Ready a dodge attack.
All right.
Or a dodge action, sorry.
Kurt, you're up next.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot this one in the face hole.
Okay. You probably, with the rest of your companions in the way, you're probably going to have to move a little bit closer into the chamber in order to get a good shot.
Slightly
at them.
closer, and then shoot him in the face hole.
All right. The 12 is not going to hit. It just seems to barely miss and shoots wide of the orc, pinging into the rock next to him.
Just, I guess get inside the door? I don't know.
You guys still have movement left.
Inside the door to right here.
Okay. Will, you up next?
Okay. Will is going to pull out his lute. And as the tone reaches across the cavern and the area where the orcs are, he's going to try to light them up.
Okay.
In brilliant purple.
Okay, brilliant purple. Dexterity saving throw.
Yeah.
All right.
We can give our archers a little...
All right. The orc with the longbow fails. Objects which dim light, effective. You see, it's affect creature. Object can benefit from being so. Okay. So the one armed with the longbow fails the roll. The southernmost orc succeeds with javelins. The northernmost orc with javelins fails. So 2 of the 3 orcs are lit in a violet fairy fire.
My God, it actually worked.
And one's still affected by vicious mockery.
No, that would have worn off at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll wear off actually at the start of his.
Okay. Is that your turn? Are you moving at all?
No, I'm going to stay right where I am. Thank you.
Okay. The orcs go next. One of the ones lit in purple flame is going to fling open this door. You get a brief view of a hallway leading down. And he makes it to about there. Just in sight, but is retreating back into this hallway. The orcs are going to both attempt to chuck longbows, not longbows, attempt to chuck javelins at Tuck.
More javelins? Those sneaky bastards.
Miss and hit.
That one, though.
Aha. All right.
I like that. Aha!
The damage you take from the attack is reduced by 1d10 plus your dexterity modifier plus your monk's level. So go ahead and roll 1d10 plus, I assume your dex is 3.
Yes.
All right. Roll 1d10 plus 3.
Plus 6.
Yes, 6 total. 1d10 plus 6. Okay. Yeah. So this javelin it almost catches you, and you manage to catch it in your hand just before it reaches you, taking no damage.
I like the rest of that action, by the way. That's pretty fucking cool.
Which
This is the one that's hit in the back.
which one hit the bottom or the top?
The bottom one.
This
So
one.
if you want, if you catch a missile in this way, you can spend a key point to make a ranged attack with the weapon you just caught as part of the same reaction. Make this attack with proficiency. All right.
I'm gonna do that. So that would be a monk weapon. Would be a 1d4 with proficiency.
So with it being a javelin, you're gonna it's gonna be 1d6 plus your dexterity modifier plus your proficiency bonus. So I think it's going to be 1d6 plus 5.
5.
But go ahead and
1d20 plus 5, right?
Well, it'd be 1d20 plus 5
Then
for
the
attack roll.
damage.
Yeah. So you rolled your damage at 9, which is fine. Go ahead and roll 1d20 plus 5.
D20 plus 5.
Yep, for the attack roll. Yeah, so that'll hit. You manage to take this orc's javelin, throw it right back at him, impaling him through the skull. He falls down and dies.
Great.
And it is your turn next.
Yes. At which point I am going to run to here.
All right.
Here. And throw my staff at Dick Nose there.
Okay. Go for it.
With advantage.
With advantage, yeah.
With advantage.
With advantage. No.
Really?
Somehow, some way, your staff, even at this range, is not able to connect.
Piece of shit. And I bring the staff back to me.
Kent, you're up next.
All right.
You just saw your monk charge headlong against a retreating orc.
I'm going to run up to here. And what's the distance on that?
Can you hit that one?
I think I can with firebolt.
Firebolt,
120.
yeah.
Yeah,
120
yeah.
feet.
Yep.
I would go. I would try.
Well, I don't want to really.
All right, go ahead and roll that again just to see if you crit, because you do have advantage on the attack because it's affected by fairy fire.
Where the hell are you?
Just roll the attack again. Okay, so the attack for 10 damage is going to hit. This thing is nearly engulfed in flame, and he's hanging by the barest of threads.
No way.
Roran, you're up next.
I bend down and cut off his ears.
That would be that will be your action if you choose to do that in the midst of this combat.
I know. My statement stands. That's my action.
Okay.
And I'm not going to bother moving.
Okay.
Yep.
Jafar is up next.
Or he'll
He's going to bite the rogue.
I thought about it, but I did not. All right, he'll come in. That'll be his turn. He'll ready a dodge action.
Okay. Kurt, you're up next.
Shoot the far. Well, yeah, I'm gonna shoot the far away one.
You're going to have to line up the shot by being more straight with the whole way there.
Step up behind me.
Is that okay?
No, the angle's not quite there, so you have to angle the shot either by being directly on the bridge or... Yeah, that'll do it.
All right.
Yep. Your arrow manages to find its mark even from that distance. And finally... You actually got advantage on the roll, but it doesn't really matter.
I was just say if it doesn't kill him.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. You do manage to find your mark, and this retreating orc goes down.
I guess I can move some more.
If you so wish.
I don't want to. I'm gonna stay here. Fuck that bridge.
Will, you're up next. You have this one last orc chucking javelins back at you guys.
Yeah, I really need to get a ranged weapon at some point.
Don't you have daggers?
I do.
You can throw them.
Yeah, I guess just for doing something different, we'll throw a dagger. What's the maximum range of a dagger?
60 yards, I thought.
Maximum range is 60 yards. You would throw it at 60 yards with disadvantage, but because this thing is still affected by your fairy fire, you would roll it just as a normal attack.
Yeah, I'm at 40 feet now.
Yep.
So that would negate the advantage?
It would negate the advantage. The effective feet of the dagger would be 20 feet thrown, or 60 feet at a maximum range with disadvantage. Anything more than 20 feet would be disadvantaged up to a maximum of 60 feet. But because he's affected by fairy fire, it cancels out the disadvantage. And you could attack at a distance of 60 feet as a normal attack.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, that'll hit. Your dagger manages to slink deep into this thing's armor, and it howls in fury and pain. Okay. This last remaining orc is going to pull out a great axe, swing back around, and charge right at you, Tuck, and attempt to chop you with it.
Nope.
Unfortunately, you managed to parry it. And it is your turn next.
Guess what's happening to this motherfucker? And
I sense butt fuckery.
yes, butt fuckery incoming. So, do I have advantage still on him?
Yes, on every attack. 16 will hit.
Is that going to kill him?
Almost.
Followed by that. Oh!
No, I'll deal with it, Chris.
Knockout. Fatality.
I want to knock his head clean off. That's what I want.
Flawless victory. Yeah, you knocked his head clean off with your fist. And you managed to stop the alarm for the time being. And you appear to be out of combat.
Will wants his dagger back.
You get your dagger back.
Roran's going to backtrack and cut off ears and check his body.
Okay. The bodies themselves aren't carrying any specific loot on them, as far as gold or jewels or anything of that sort. There are a couple of longbows. Each of the orcs with longbows seem to have at least a few standard, though crude arrows. And a couple of these orcs seem to be armed mostly with great axes, and there's at least a few javelins sitting in a circular container near the bridge.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab this orc's ears using my pet. They're gonna nibble them off. Give me those ears. I'm gonna nibble.
All right.
Nibble, nibble,
And I'm
nibble.
adding 4 pairs to our tally.
Have Jafar make a strength check.
Oh.
It's check, not save.
Right. Well,
Boy, those ears are on there tight. He's not quite able to rip them off.
Can I go ahead and just push
all right.
this wall over here?
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check with advantage.
Button first, and then this one.
Okay. Yeah, you manage to kind of push against the wall, and as you do, it seems like it pushes in, and it moves away a little bit, and you can manage a passage to the north.
I like how they did that with the tile. That's kind of neat.
that's killy.
Just
The tile is part of the map that they designed.
I'm going to slowly push my way through.
Okay.
And peek
Perceive
around the
up
corner.
here.
As you begin to get a note of the rest of this chamber, it seems like it moves to the north and then curls around into a small sort of station.
Like cut off his ears.
Okay. You
Is there,
cut off
is there
its
anything
ears.
over here?
But Jafar didn't see anything.
And then I will
I
continue
haven't rolled
to fall
anything.
down this
To perceive
hallway.
anything?
And yeah, anything? So I gotta roll perception.
Make another perception check.
E.
You think there might be another secret door.
Um,
Much like right there.
Yeah, you know what? Before I even do that, I'm gonna come back this way and just be like, "Hey guys, there's a secret passage up this way, and I don't want to go alone.
I'm going to start heading back.
Also, make sure you grab the ears."
Did we not like sneak up and see all the big piles of stuff up ahead of us? Like, no one wants to.
Yeah.
Okay,
Not yet.
okay. You want to head that way? I'll follow your lead.
Yeah, let's go see this secret passage. See
All right.
what that.
So yeah,
turns out to be.
I lead them over to here and kind of
Okay.
there.
You all follow him on to the north.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm following him. I'm going in the same direction, but following him seems a little strong.
Will, are you doing something else? Or are you following him up there?
No, I'm getting caught up.
Okay. So, you push in, and this door moves much like the other one. The tile moves in, and as it does, you do see a pair of what appears to be stone steps leading up to the west into what you easily imagine to be some other entrance of a secret door of some kind.
After you.
If I go up here, can I sneak around the corner or peek around the corner? Or
There's
anything?
no corner
No?
to peek around. It's a stone secret door.
Oh, it's just okay. There's another secret door. Push on that bastard.
Okay. You push it in. The sound of stone shifting, echoing throughout.
Baby. Push it in.
And as you peer inside, you watch as a total of 5 orcs peers back in that direction. And one of them, let me see here. This chamber is filled with rough-hewn bunks. There are some tables, chairs. The floor is strewn with all sorts of filthy pelts. And you think that more than a dozen or so orcs might sleep here at any given time. But as you peer inside, you see 5, including one who appears to be quite a bit older and covered in aged plates and
Run.
aged but powerful plate. And he shouts a battle cry in Orcish as all of these orcs grab their great axes and get ready to charge at you in order to push you out. And it is late, so we're going to save that for next time, I think.
Awesome. Very, very good.
So, Will, I have 10 ears on me?
I have a total on my ledger of 6 pair.
3, 4, 5,
That
6. Yes, you
includes
should
the
have a
two-
total of. You should have a
includes the
total of
2
6 pair.
Includes the
No,
2
he
pair
should
from
have 8
earlier.
pair.
Yeah,
You pushed.
definitely.
Yeah.
Nope, you
1,
pushed
2,
the other
3,
2
4.
off the edge
No,
before you
I
cut off
cut.
their ears.
No, I cut them off.
No, I
I'm
have
sure.
those. Yes, no, he took the ears before he pushed.
Oh, did? Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, so those
definitely.
2 plus I have another
5, 6,
4.
7, 8. So 8. Yeah, 8 pair.
Yeah, he cut them off
Sure.
before Kurt even got there and cursed him and pushed them off.
All right,
Yeah.
so what are we saying? 8 pair? Okay, 8 pair.
Yeah.
Plus scimitar, 3 great axes, 5 javelins, 2 longbows.
And a partridge and a partridge.
And some aged armor in a few minutes. But
Well,
yeah, so
I'm not the way for.
Yeah, I'm not counting pairs. I'm counting ears, but I have 10. So
All right,
I guess.
Killy. Look, I'm not gonna, guys. I'm super tired and I gotta go to bed. But
Yeah,
yeah.
so I'll just say, Killy, another triumph. Thank you so much.
good.
Highlight
So
of my
long,
week.
so long as you're having fun, that's all I hope for.
All right, man. See you guys
Good
later.
night, everyone. See
Good
ya.
night.
Yeah, right.
Night, folks.
later.
Oh man.
This will be quick.
What's the matter?
This will be quick.
We'll see. Let me go ahead and end the stream there. All right.
I suggest we retreat back slowly as we attack them, because I can attack the first one there, run around the corner, and have them all come in after us. So I think we're okay.
Well, we're okay to an extent.